Oh, wow, that got
Without me.
extra.
No, it's okay. Yeah. It's fine. I don't care.
We are live as Mora's character must talk with somebody on the phone. Hit it, DM.
Hold
Yes.
this character,
Mora's character,
implying
yeah.
that our party is playing D&D and she's playing it.
Our party is playing
They're
real life.
playing us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I thought that's how it worked.
Hopefully
Which,
not, because if Alua's the one who's been sending me all these ideas for what Alua can do, then Alua needs to go see a therapist.
Man, Katep is real boring if I'm his character.
One's boring, one needs a therapist. Okay. It sounds accurate. I mean, I don't know.
Well, to get things caught up on this surprise makeup day of D&D, as I will be inflicting the curse of broken toes. I don't actually have a broken toe, but the curse of broken toes upon every character who earns my ire today. We will hop into it. Welcome back to Chult, where a pair of mysterious plagues are devastating both the land and its inhabitants. And I want to start my video, my camera. There we go. Okay. Where a pair of mysterious plagues are devastating both the land and its inhabitants. There in Chult, the heroes of the Argent Oak have been tasked to investigate and hopefully take step towards curing the strange afflictions. In that vein, they have headed deep into the jungle and up the river Olung in search of the monastery Kir Sabal. 11 days into their journey, their destination looms above the jungle canopy in the distance, a towering mesa of pale stone, still many, many hours away. We resume in the aftermath of an ambush, where the heroes were attacked in their nighttime camp by a host of undead creatures, apparently affected by the Grey Blight, the newer and more to-date enigmatic of the plagues of Chult. The battle kicked off with the most recent addition to the heroes channeling the holy power of Eldath and causing most of the undead to turn and flee into the nighttime jungle. And from there, a flurry of blows and magic vanquished the ambushers. The party witnessed what they surmised to be the effects of this plague somehow being transmitted to Savra Bellabranta, but managed to cure her of this disease before she succumbed to it. Now the group has rested and recovered from the fight, and is ready to press forward. But first, a few things to note. First off, Alua and Orin, your sleep is troubled by strange visions of a dark mountain spewing flames the color of the blood, the undead you fought tonight.
Ew.
In the night, you feel a strange calling as part of these visions, just this strange kinship echoing in the visions that trouble your sleep. For Lua, the vision is tinted in the deep red of the blood fire lantern. For just the briefest of moments, Lua, when you're feeding the lantern's curse in the early morning, you think you see your blood the same vibrant crimson. You like kind of focus and like, wait, what? And look at it, and no, it's just normal. It was just a strange something.
It's just a trick of the light.
Maybe just a trick of the light. Maybe not. You're not, wholly certain, but
Half asleep,
half
completely
asleep.
trick of the light. Mm-hmm.
And then to remind you guys of mechanics for traveling, because you can see the large plateau that you assume hosts Kir Sabal in the distance, there's no chance of getting lost. Instead, the group's two navigators will roll survival checks to determine if they avoid any potential hazards along the way. The group can choose to travel at a slow, normal, or fast pace when moving on land. When traveling at a slow pace, you can potentially avoid dangerous encounters or otherwise gain the element of surprise on those encounters. Some party members can attempt to gather resources as part of the crafting system from Kittle's Tasty that we'll be implementing. Um, uh, but the party has a chance to not travel a full hex during that day. At a fast pace, the group has disadvantage on perception and survival checks made to be aware of their surroundings. In locations where you don't have like a spot, like a visual landmark to follow, that would include disadvantage on checks not to get lost. if you're in an unfamiliar area. When you're in familiar mapped jungles, there's no less chance or no increased chance of getting lost. Um, uh, but when traveling at a fast pace, you have a chance to progress an additional hex each day of travel. You guys can also choose to push yourselves up to 4 additional hours for the chance to move an additional hex as well. But every party member has to make a Constitution saving throw against levels of exhaustion, with more levels of exhaustion being afflicted the lower you roll. I did get it wrong last time. You only cure 1 level of exhaustion during a long rest. So, Joyce, I think, was afflicted by 2 or 3 levels from her roll.
Something like that.
She would have
I
been
believe it was
recovering.
3.
Yeah, she obviously. I'm not like going back and like, oh, would you still have any or anything like that. But moving forward, it's just 1 per rest. A few other ways to remove exhaustion, but I don't know if we have access to those right now.
Nope, we have not 5th level spells.
So Kirsabal, or where you very much presume it to be, this massive, towering plateau of stone, is about a day's travel away. You think if you traveled at a fast pace, there's a good chance you could reach the plateau with time to potentially investigate how to find the monastery, given that it's an Aarakocran monastery for winged creatures, probably up on that mesa somewhere. But you don't know yet. What would you guys like to do?
Okay. First of all, is there like an area here that we can like secure our rafts?
Yeah, that was part of what you guys did the night before when making camp. Probably pulled up the canoes probably about 100 yards in off the river at what's her dick's discretion. Should probably have my NPC names handy. Salida. At Salida's direction, she would have had like kind of moved it up, helped gotten people to help her like cover it up with branches and such, to where it'd be virtually impossible to stumble upon it by accident.
Sorry, you meant Yolanda, right?
Yeah. Okay.
That's 1 broken toe for Sven.
I don't think we need to push ourselves. I think we could go at a normal pace.
Yeah, especially because we were just ambushed last night. Recklessly marching forward might not be the most appealing.
Yeah,
Did
speaking
the
of
ambush
that,
cut into our rest time at all? Like, are we starting late?
Yeah.
So, in the
not
vein of
like
that,
I don't say that you guys have to like restart your rest from like 8 hours starting now, but yeah, like you'd have to like sleep in and recover a little bit more.
Yeah.
Completely.
with that in mind, can we do like a light day's travel, stop a little bit early, and extra fortify our camp so that we're planning it so that we'll be at Kirsabal like earlier in the following day rather than trying
You
to
could
get
travel
there
at a slow pace while doing that.
Yeah.
For sure. If you guys are like intentionally not wanting to travel the full day, then you can. But you could also try to reach the kind of the last approach, like the last few miles, and then stop camp there.
That's
Where
kind of what I
mechanically,
mean, yeah.
where mechanically you've traveled the full day, but there's no issues.
All right.
Yeah, you could do that at a slow pace, and gain the benefits of some maybe being able to find some crafting materials. I did go back and give Alua just a few common reagents to play with. You can, when resting for the night, spend 2 hours working on a potion or something like that.
Awesome.
Pretty much have a 2-hour crafting window.
Okay. Yeah, and any
You can, which you can push, but gain exhaustion.
sounds like fun. So yeah, she'll also just keep an eye out on any like cool things that we should bring back, or just things that look pretty.
Okay, are you looking for cool things that look pretty, or are you looking for crafting reagents?
Mostly crafting.
Okay.
But if there's a pretty flower, she's gonna pick it.
Okay. Any other plans that the group would like to make?
So
Say, this point probably Salida, the group's getting together. You can see again, like it's not like always visible. This is a dense jungle, so you only get peaks of this plateau in the distance, rarely through the trees. But Salida kind of pipes up. So I don't know that we ever made a formal plan. What are we going to do about Bruno here? If trying to get him up that.
uh
I think we've been postponing a decision, but we don't have much more time to postpone.
I have
think.
Go ahead. Nope, you first.
Alua is pointing at Mora, be like, she's going to make him fly. Not fly cool, but fly like a bird.
Sabra kind of pipes in. I don't know that a monastery is the best habitat for Bruno, though. I am a bit concerned about that as well.
So that's why
Go ahead, sorry.
if we make a more fortified camp, can we leave like Savra and Joyce and maybe Salida here as we do like the last mile?
I'm not going to stay behind. Like, you're going to leave me in this jungle? Really?
Like for a couple of hours while we go up to the monastery, get information.
So it's just like, absolutely not. Salida, though, it's like, we could probably hold camp. I'd prefer not to dabble with holy people myself. I'm sure me and Savra could keep things safe. Get the fuck out of there if we need to.
Yeah, okay. That sounds good to me.
That sounds like a great plan. Wonderful. Savra just nods along, pats, slaps Bruno lovingly on the side of the head. Good boy, good boy. Kind of pats. All right. Anything else before heading off? Not.
I imagine at some point Mora basically went around and forced everyone to write down everything we could remember about the fight in those like 7 journals she
Damn
bought
straight. Everything you might have seen that I might have missed.
Sure thing. All right. Then Sven, if you want to go ahead and make a survival check, Salida will make one as well. It's just to lead the group unerringly. Might be muted. Ooh. Okay. Well, that's why we have 2 people doing it, huh? Okay. And Alua, if you want to go ahead and roll a D100 for me. Oh, I think it might be mic issues from Gorby, potentially.
Gorby, okay?
He just logged off.
Gorby.
I'm not sure.
Gorby. D100.
Shows you're muted in Discord.
$58.
Okay, 1 second. Okay, do we have any update on the old Gorby?
He says he's working on it.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, 58. Go ahead and roll a D4 for me as well.
Were you talking to me or were you talking to Gorby?
Yeah, you.
Oh, what, a D8?
A D4, I'm sorry, D4. I said D8, but I meant a D4. What'd you get?
3.
Okay. So throughout the course of these days, a few hours into the journey, you pause as you see like this kind of small, fairly small flower, but they've got these very notable petals that have like just opening up, and it's one of the rare like distinct patches of sunlight that really comes through the jungle canopy above. Kind of looking down, you recognize that. Oh my goodness! I literally just was looking at this thing, and now I've lost where it was.
Okay.
It's like these little these white petals that kind of open up in these very distinct manner, like two little wings. You recognize something called fairy steps that can be used as a curative reagent.
Ooh.
Find three little distinct blossoms of them. But you do need to successfully harvest them.
Okay.
So go ahead and make an herbalism kit check, which is just your wisdom plus your proficiency.
Wait, what was it called? It was called fairy
steps.
Fairy.
What it's called. That doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and tell you. That's just a flavor thing. These are
cute.
three. It is cute. But make make an herbalism check to see if you can harvest the three
Herbalism
thing.
Herbalism
So it's
nature?
just a d20 plus proficiency plus wisdom.
Oh.
Since you're proficient in herbalism tools. It's not a high DC. Oh, and unfortunately, you do make it with disadvantage because gathering while traveling is kind of hard.
I reject. How do I roll disadvantage on this?
Just roll it twice. Just do it twice.
Okay. Do I just do times 2? Oh, fudge it. I don't know how to use
You could do /R 2d20 K8
I could
K8-1.
get lower than that.
Oh no, the DC was an 8. You only were failing on the net one. So I imagine that Lou was like excited and giddy about this. He's like, wait, guys, wait. And in her maybe too excitable care, unfortunately, as you're moving in to harvest them, I don't know, how do you think Alua fails to harvest these? What goes wrong?
Like to think Bruno saw it and ate them.
You're gonna blame your natural one on Bruno.
Yes, because she pointed.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Bruno looked down and was like, "Oh, that's for me," and decided to eat it. So she's gonna blame herself for that.
You know what? I'm gonna give the monsters DM inspiration for you doing my boy like that. Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So you like kind of pausing, like, look at this, and like back everybody up.
Bruno steps on it.
And Bruno's just like, whoosh, and just one big old foot just slams right on the patch of fairy steps, and like there's a moment of dread, and when you lift it up, the plants are harvested and squished and ruined. Unfortunately,
she does a little squeak of like dismay, like continue walking with this agonized look on her face as she
does she cry? Just a little, like little tears.
You wouldn't know because it's hot outside, so she's sweating. She might be, you don't know. And she just crosses out on her little document of fairy step, just cross it out, keeps walking.
You continue for a few more hours, and as you guys are moving along, eventually Salida and Sven lead the group just unerringly forward. It's not too complicated. There's gentle rises and like gorges, patches of denser jungle that the pair coordinate to lead the group around. But eventually, moving forward, about half the day, about a little around noon, maybe a bit after that, you come to the edge, and Salida calls for a halt. It's fairly apparent why. Up ahead, there's this large gap in the jungle. But it's not a gap of empty plains. It's a gap of rotting and dead trees. You kind of move forward close to the edge of it, and you can see what seems to just be this sudden and, at like initial glance, inexplicable just area of dead and decaying vegetation. where like large branches had fallen. There's dense vegetation up ahead of you, but it's just got that rotting smell to it. It's clear that life has mostly abandoned the area directly ahead of you. Salita kind of looks
Stop
around.
at the edge of it.
Yeah. What do we want to do about this?
I think maybe we set up camp here.
You're still about 3 or 4 hours travel from the base of the plateau.
I don't know if I want to leave their little stop camp in dead lands like this.
Sorry, I caught like the tail end of that sentence. Can you repeat what we're in front of that we're stopping?
You've kind of come up on like a section of dead or dying trees. Kind of opens up ahead of you guys.
Interesting.
Orin will mind link to Alua, and just like confirm like the dream that he had last night. What if the mountain's killing the jungle? Something in the mountain.
Yeah, can I do a nature check on the like trees to see if there's any like, do they look sick? Do they look poisoned? Is it natural death of the trees?
You absolutely can. While you're doing that, Glass, pick odds or evens.
Odds.
Okay, good to know.
15.
Yeah, so 15. It's pretty good. Oh, Glass.
Glass.
All right. When I said good to know, Glass, I didn't mean run away. There's no clear sign of why these plants might be in this state. Like any number of things could cause like a section of forest to turn decrepit, but there's no like signs of fire. There's no obviously like poisonous fumes in the air or anything like that.
There's no signs of fire yet.
Yeah, there's no signs of fire yet. And like you recognize that the stories of Chult often involve undead and decaying things. So there's definitely like the sense of alarm with that. Like that this does seem to be unnatural in some degree. Would be your conclusion. What the cause is, you could only speculate about, but not natural.
Okay.
Alua mind links back with her brother and answers, yes, I was going to ask, and I don't know if this is, maybe it was just really early in the morning and I was still kind of tired, but when I was feeding Lighty here, and she points to her lantern, Lighty, she's gonna call it Lighty. Maybe it was just a residual from what I was remembering from the dream, but my blood looked really, really, really crimson red, but then it wasn't. It's kind of weird. Nothing to do with Lighty.
Couldn't be the cursed item. No. Definitely something else. Definitely something else.
All right. Orin might say like out loud to people now, best keep our guard up, and he'll have his hammer in his hands now, kind of, but he's still got to chop his way through the jungle with a machete. But
so Sven, Mora, and Alua, you guys would like easily pick up, and anybody else really that looks like this patch of dead trees doesn't seem to continue indefinitely. It's much easier to see through it, given like most of the canopy has fallen, and many of the trees are just like bare bone bark and wood. Like off far to the distance, you make out that you could this is a finite area that you could travel around, though it would take some time to do so. It would extend the.
And it does seem like this was magically done. Like there's some necrotic sort of.
It's unnatural. Would be the. You could make a nature check as well if you'd like.
Yeah, all right. Totally not proficient.
Be the secondary supplement to Sven's observations. Okay.
24.
Yeah. Okay, Miss. I'm totally bad at this.
I just said I wasn't proficient. I didn't say bad.
Um, you get the distinct sense as you kind of consider what you can without moving into the area. The growth seems to have hit like a very defined wall. Like there's just a point where the trees are healthy and thriving, and the jungle is active and alive. And the next step, the trees are dying and decrepit. And the further along you look, you look, a dozen yards deep, it looks a little bit worse. And past that, it looks a little bit worse. And with that kind of thought in mind, you would guess that there's probably some sort of a natural source causing this. Like that this is like a radial effect happening in a circle around a point.
All right, so knowing this and knowing our new crafting system, who wants to go pick up the magical thing in the middle of the start?
If does it get does Alua sees this and does someone point it out?
Yeah, no, Mora would be like, all right, I hear what you're saying, but if you look, it gets worse. And then she would kind of like tiptoe and like try like pointing further, and then worse. There's something definitely in there. It's more like rings.
Now, to be clear, it's not specifically rings per se.
Right? No, I know, but yeah, but that's what she. Yeah, but she's just saying, like.
Mm-hmm. And this is, I know this is like a long shot, but just there's no way, shape, or form similar to any of like the disgusting stuff we saw on that one island with the Naga, spirit Naga. Not that we know it's a spirit Naga.
Don't see that that
okay.
that
Just
root.
Sure. Similarity.
Seemed to be a lot of the cause. Yeah, nothing instinct definitively similar.
Okay. Should we go check it out just to make sure? Especially if we're gonna possibly camp here, probably should need to make sure that nothing untoward comes towards us.
Actually, if we can avoid it, maybe we go around, talk to the Aarakocra first.
Okay. All right. Apparently the other things followed us from the water, so I don't think that they came from this area right here unless... Nah, doesn't look like it's all murky in there.
Are there any like life forms, animals, creatures, or is it just kind of us?
Make a perception
quiet?
check.
Because quiet isn't good, I think.
You definitely hear typical jungle noises surrounding you all. Nothing like innate, nothing like stalking you or on the verge of ambushing you all. Ahead of you, don't really see too much in the way of that of movement.
All right.
From within the grove or patch of deadened trees.
Okay, so but for now, in quote normal sense, it's normal jungle-ish noises.
Yeah, outside of what's ahead of you.
Yeah.
But around you, things seem fine.
All right.
So we're navigating around? Slid asks.
I think that's best.
Alright, we might want to pick up the pace some, but sure, let's go. And she sets off, continue leading the group around. Because Glass successfully identified odds or evens, you guys do not suffer the penalty of slow travel. You do move the expected amount. So as, night's generally getting close and it's getting about time to set up camp, you recognize that you've kind of reached the fringe of the jungle, where you can see a few hundred yards ahead, the jungle quickly peters off and hits like this rocky area surrounding the large plateau. There's still a few miles of that kind of open landscape to reach the bottom of the area. But as you guys have been approaching, I would say probably just I'll say make a perception check, Sven, since you're kind of the guy up front. See if you can.
Sorry, did you say perception check?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay. Ooh,
Okay,
much better.
yeah, really good.
Better than a nat fucking one.
We'll say that you are the one that you're a bit more alert than Miss High Perception there. Alua, you do make out here and there every hour or so you see like a few shapes flying from like not towards you all from the mesa, but just like kind of out as these like groups of winged humanoids seem to be leaving or approaching the rocky expanse ahead of you all. Far too distant to like make out details or hear or call out to them or anything like that, but you're aware of them passing around to further confirm that this seems to be where you guys want to go. But you've reached a point where, yeah, you're an hour or two travel from the base. You can easily make a camp in the defensible jungle.
All right.
Is there anything anybody would like to do while setting up camp or as part of camp? This would be the time, Alua, that you would say if you wanted to work on making a potion.
Yeah.
something.
Okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead and go ahead.
Just make sure you do it around middle. Everyone stay here 15 minutes.
On that point, for creating these things, you do need a constant heat source, like a fire.
Okay, well, before we get into possible roles, just go ahead. What you're going to say,
Sven, I think.
Sven, sorry.
What? No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I think she'd want to start easy, being quote, which means that she'll probably try to do a health potion.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make another herbalism check. D20 plus proficiency plus wisdom. Your DC is, I believe, 13.
Oh, come
on. So as everybody's getting ready, setting everything up, dome is thrown up. A small fire is lit. Would you light it inside the dome? Can you light a fire inside the dome? I'm honestly not sure.
I think so. What she would probably try to do is use her lantern and then realize like this is not working, and then someone like Mora would be like, you need a heat source to actually heat it. You can't use your little dinky thing.
Selita might even
little dinky thing.
Yeah, Selita actually. Yeah. Yolanda absolutely would probably, and Alua would be like, that makes sense.
I almost imagine that like Alua's been working on this formula and creating this potion for about 30 minutes or so before she's like, why isn't this working? And yes, Selita pipes in, but then Alua's like, it's fine though, I'll just start it. And then she kind of rushes it a little bit, and the reagents that you're adding here fail to coalesce into the proper potion. You can try to continue. Every attempt will incur a level of exhaustion. So you can take one extra attempt and then just extend the sleep slightly and recover that point of exhaustion. But
no, I think because of what had happened the day before, if there is anything, she needs to be alert and awake. So she'll just try again tomorrow, put everything away.
Chris Perkins says as long as the fire is there before the hut is cast, it can go through. Otherwise, it would be trapped in.
Okay.
No. The look on Glass's face makes it better. Just like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah, so the night progresses without issue as you guys eat your rations. I presume. Is somebody keeping track of rations consumptions?
I assumed Alua was doing that because of
I don't know how many days we've been walking.
Being money management.
You've been walking for 7 days. This is the end of the 8th day. since you guys have left your ship.
So 8 times how many?
7. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
how many of us?
8.
No, it's 7. 8?
7, not Selena. Selena has her own stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was about to say, I thought Selena didn't want our shit. Like, we offered, and she was like, nah, brah. I don't trust you guys.
Yeah, so
Yeah, she has
I
her own
kept,
pack and stuff. Yeah.
like in my brain, I was like funds, not food. So okay, so minus 250 for provisions for 2 weeks. How much was that? I just wrote down
it
the
was
number.
so I think that was for the crew, and then you guys were 3 weeks planned or something. I can't remember. We can figure it out, but we don't have to figure it out right now. But it is something we need to keep track of, just in case you guys run out of food.
Yeah, we didn't actually. I don't remember like a total. It was like we bought
We can-
30 days worth
Sure,
It's
sure.
something
we
like
can.
that.
and
So-
stuffed it in the bags of holding.
We
Sure.
did.
If you have 30 days worth, that's fine to keep track of that way too. So you're down to you've
22
been on
days.
well, you've been out. It's the 12th. This is the end of the 12th day since.
So
Blood
three. So we eat 3 rations a day. Is that correct?
You eat 1 ration a day.
Oh, it's one
Yeah,
ration.
one ration a
That
day.
was like
Yeah.
a stick or something.
Yeah. So you
No, we're
guys
always
have
hungry, lady.
you guys have 18 days of rations left. That's fine to keep track that way,
Okay.
rather than the
All right,
individual
Sven, get ready to
ration
start bringing create food and water for a while.
18 days.
All right.
I
Um,
stand
So I should
by what
prepare
I
that
said.
spell, eh? Wait, do
Who
we
wants-
need it yet? Or not
No,
yet?
no, not yet.
18
Oh, okay.
days.
I will not. I will not prepare it until we need it.
Go ahead,
Alright.
Orin.
I think Orin might catch Mora and Katep, but not the others, to just like tell them that him and Alua had like a shared dream about this mountain and the dark smoke, right? Just so that they're informed.
I'll
Yeah.
never quite get over to the creepy little connection you two have to whatever the hell it is.
Wait, was it specifically the mesa, or was it a mountain?
It was a mountain, like a volcanic mountain kind of situation.
Oh,
Not
I
this.
thought. Oh, I
Mesa.
thought it was this one.
It was kind of though like it wasn't like a defined, like it wasn't well defined in the dream. Like it was a very abstract kind of. Oh,
Yeah, I
it's a
still
mountain.
Okay.
think Mora's gonna kind of like peek down at her notes and look in the general direction she believes that other mountain to be, and the thing we don't want to let loose in it.
Well, we were told that the Grey Blat was around the peaks of flame. Could be something that's causing it is the in or near the mountain.
That was all. Yeah, the peaks of flame were also where you were told the night serpent Dindar was locked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's why
beneath
Mora
the
peeked that way and
water.
was just like, I don't want to let anything out.
Yeah, the big door we're not supposed to open.
Let's open it.
No.
We don't need the sun.
All right. Any other conversations to be had for the night? Any other discussions ahead of the approach to Kir Sabal, the final leg of the journey to the monastery? If not, then who wants to roll a d20? Mora.
I
you've been
do. I
right.
haven't done it
Okay.
yet.
Yeah,
There
no.
we go.
Give it. Yeah, thank you. Save me.
You
Please.
have done it.
I know, right?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, you just
Not-
haven't
not-
rolled an encounter.
Oh, yeah.
That's all this was. Night passes without incident.
Ah, fuck.
The jungle. Beneath the jungle canopy.
I mean, I'm glad, but
Yeah, so night happens, comes by, kind of throughout that process. Alula spends a bit of time trying to brew a potion, and it's not her day for herbalism.
Let's see what
And the dawn comes, and you guys have your destination clear in sight. What would you like to do?
onwards, right? Get on our drifting horse.
Instead of
and,
to the dash, it's to catch the ball.
Yeah.
All right. There's no need to discuss pace or anything like that. You're a couple hours hike from the base of the plateau, getting to head that way. I would assume that Salida and Savra and Bruno are going to accompany you to the base, and then head back once they see that you guys are ascending, or that you have made it.
Yeah, once we all become
whatever.
gods, they'll head back.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys approach, and once the details of the cliff face begin to coalesce, this mesa, this plateau, whatever you want to call it, is like massive. It's like 2,000 feet high. Just this towering, looks very much like a natural formation, though it's very odd that it exists out here. You've gone like hills and you've seen mountains and things like that, but nothing like this. Nothing that's just so out of the way, and it dominates, the horizon, surely for miles upon miles upon miles. It would be the highest point. But you begin to see a formation carved out of the side, one of the sides, buildings and walkways, paths. Every few minutes you'd see Aarakocra flying to and from this place. A few kind of swoop very vaguely in your all's direction. You gather that you're being watched as you make this approach, but no creatures call out to you or approach you in any way. Nobody lingers for more than just a few moments before maybe flitting back towards the
little
monastery.
waves.
Yeah, there's no response, but you wave. You do see lower than the lowest building on this monastery, which itself is like 500 or more feet above the ground level. You see this walkway made out of stairs and pathways, cutbacks in places, like rope bridges and wooden constructions that don't look like they're in the best repair. You gather, I would say Mora probably more so than anyone else, given her background in architecture and dwarvenism. You probably surmise that these winged creatures probably don't have that much of a use for a walkway, a formal walkway, but it does look navigable. Still, it's going to be a bit of a climb, but not like you're not climbing straight up the side. It's mostly intact, with a few points that might be more difficult or dangerous. Certainly only large enough for like a medium creature. Getting a horse or a triceratops up this thing would be an absolute near impossibility without magic. But yeah, you guys have a clear approach ahead of you guys if you want to take that last step, the last ascent towards the monastery. And nobody's challenged your approach, though you've clearly been noticed.
All right. At least it doesn't look like they're not entirely welcoming of outsiders. At least have a way. This motion's like up.
Seems to be a thing on this island.
Salida equipped yet. You're starting to get it, yeah. Anyways.
So anybody know what Aarakocra speak?
Don't they speak primordial?
They speak common. I'm not sure if they know other languages, but surely there's plenty of stories of people traveling to Kirsabal. It's irregular, but not unheard of. People looking for the wisdom of this teacher that they're protecting or whatever. They probably have, their own language of some sort, but you should expect to be able to communicate. Though I will say, good luck with it. They're not as barbaric as the people of Portney and Zaro often make them out to be, but their cunning and capabilities maybe makes them more dangerous. I don't really trust them. Good luck.
We're real good at making friends wherever we go, so we should be fine.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's
what I've heard.
Specialty.
That's what I've heard. Anyways, Don't die. You owe me money. And she turns to head back towards camp. With Savra.
Yeah, I think Mora just kind of nod at that, like, all right, I can get behind that. I respect it.
Savra, before she turns, kind of comments, might not be. I don't know how open you should be with these creatures. They are very much natives to this area, far more so than humans ever could be. But I don't know. I feel like if they were going to attack us, they were going to do something to us, they'd have done it already. Send me a message if you need me. Looks to Alua and Joyce. Kind of nod.
Lua throws up a
Joyce
peace
nods.
sign.
Joyce sees this and is like, yes, this. This means yes? Yes.
Yep.
Good, yes. Very well. You guys can begin your ascent. So it is like a like hardcore mountain hiking by much of it, with stone
Shit,
steps.
did I remember Featherfall?
With stone steps that are like uneven, but mostly
I did, we're good.
navigable. There's only a few hazardous locations. The first one you come to is a spot about 75 or so feet up the cliff face. And even to get here, it takes about, 5 to 10 minutes of hiking, just kind of up and back, and climbing these old handholds and stairs and such. But there's a section where a stone staircase has crumbled, and there's about a 60 or so foot climb that you guys are going to have to ascend upwards. If nobody has any creative solutions for that, then a athletics check will be required to overcome this hurdle.
Lua starts opening her knapsack and starts taking out rope. Knapsack? Oh my god, bag of holding.
Sorry, can you describe this again?
Just like a ruined staircase kind of thing, where a staircase has crumbled away and there's no easy access to get up to the next ledge.
I mean,
Muted. I mean, we have a few. I could fly over with a rope.
I could help get people across, but it'd be kind of slow, and I can only really do it once a day.
Or I could put Kutep over there with, because I can do it for free once a day. 30 feet. How far? How wide did you say it was?
I mean, it's pretty narrow. Like you guys, like one person can just barely stand without a clear fear of falling. In most places, some places a bit more narrow, some places a bit wider.
I mean, the gap.
Oh, the gap itself, it's about it's say 70 feet. Is like between the ledges. It doesn't look like incredibly difficult to climb, mind you. It's just difficult enough to require a check, and there's the potential for a little bit of nastiness, but non-lethal nastiness.
AKA Mora goes last. Everyone else goes first.
You said it's
Okay,
going to be an
thanks, bye.
athletics check?
Yeah, to get here, it's kind of climbing up the gaps here in the walkway.
Yeah, I guess Sven, recognizing that we've got, two scrawnier people, I'll probably cast Emboldening Bond on himself and the other magic users.
Wow.
The
I at least have a
wizards
+1.
Joyce and Mora.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, give it to Alua. Doesn't Alua have the worst? I have a
Does
+1
have
at
a worse
least.
strength?
Yeah, leave more out.
Joyce
Give it
has
to
an
Joyce.
okay strength, I believe.
Are either of you trained in athletics?
Yeah, so-
I assumed
Joyce.
Alua might be trained in athletics.
No, she is not. She just has decent dex.
Joyce has a
but
+1.
I freaking lied. My dex, I have a +2.
This is would be a
strength?
strength. This would be a
Oh,
strength. check.
strength. I have a -1.
Yeah, athletics is what I.
Sorry.
You have -1. Okay, so it'll be to Alua and Joyce.
I think like Sven certainly, and maybe like Katab, like the outdoorsy people here. It's going to be a DC 15 check, so it's reasonably difficult. But like the consequences of failure isn't like you plummet 100 feet. you might tumble that back down to where you are, like towards the lower ledge. It
More
wouldn't
public
be a-
humiliation.
It wouldn't be a
the biggest
lethal. It would
danger.
hurt. There's also some other options, which we could get into if anybody.
And so you said Joyce looks actually surprisingly
Yeah, she fucking got a strength
well.
12. I forget.
All right. In which
Yeah, my
case,
strength roll too.
Yeah,
I will like
buffs
go
are bros, sisters.
like right before Alua, and then I will also cast guidance on her right before I go.
I'll say somebody can choose to can help somebody else by taking disadvantage for themselves and giving advantage to a companion.
I can cast gas. I can also
I
cast.
can fart my way out.
She could. Yeah. With all the rations she's been eating, I can cast guidance on herself. She can cast guidance on herself.
You can't double stack guidance, right?
You cannot. Sources of the
No.
same spell don't stack.
But what if it's a cleric version versus a...
Still the same.
This is true.
Okay, well, in which case I will cast guidance on Joe. No, I'll cast guidance on Mora, given that Joyce is getting my emboldening bond.
Hey, all right.
All right, everybody just gonna hike it up there then?
I think
Yeah,
so. I think we're just rolling.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Orin will actually go last, watch people go up, just in case somebody does tumble, he can catch them.
Sure.
How much is emboldening bond again?
Okay.
Other ball.
One
You can add a
d4.
d4 to a ability check or something. All right, yeah, everybody can go ahead and make an athletics check.
Oh my god.
Please,
Yeah.
honey.
Alua touches the rock and's like, no.
We'll get it. Okay.
I like the mental image of you like get down, you go to jump and just completely miss your handhold.
No, it's she's on the rock and she's like, I can't do this. She's only like 2 feet off the ground. She's like,
Like,
We'll get into it.
it's not
Unfortunately,
often you roll worse than one.
Unfortunately,
Oh,
it will get a little bit worse than that. Here, I can do this. You guys.
Oh, well.
Oh, whoa, what happened?
Whoa. Who did
Did you just roll 4
Oh,
Alex?
it rolled
Yeah,
for
and you rolled
everybody.
for me,
Now-
and I don't want my
ignore
nat
that,
1, I
ignore
want
that,
my
ignore
10.
that, Ignore that. I didn't realize.
No nat
that's
1
what
for
I
me
did.
too. You fuck off.
Alright, let's just restart this entirely.
No, hold on. I got this. No.
No, we got... This has been cursed from the
Wow.
beginning.
There it is. Some more. I got a 10.
I need to add a
After
4 to that.
one.
Hang on.
D4, right?
Bother.
Yeah, you can do that in the thing.
Okay.
That's actually a 13.
Okay, but I do have a free use of my telekinetic movement to catch
Someone who
Alua.
fails.
Alua.
I rolled, I think, 4, so
Very good.
Nice. Wow! I'll see if we're gonna add
Dang,
Joyce's
that
bonus.
was nice.
She succeeds. It's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So anybody who did not roll a 15 or higher, you either can choose one of two things. You can fall, or you can choose to exert yourself and push, like gather yourself, push through, and take a point of exhaustion to succeed on the roll.
Was that another?
No.
You just like.
I don't want
die-
exhaustion to have disadvantage on all the next checks I have to make. Fuck you.
All right. Mora falls. Alua.
More of
Um,
that? Oh, no more
well,
failed.
so if she pushes, do I have to make another roll? Is that what you're saying, or
You don't.
just
You succeed on this roll.
Nah,
you
she's
gain
gonna
a
try
point
and
of
do it.
exhaustion.
She is embarrassed and she's gonna go for
She's
it.
gonna-
Is there any
Great,
kind of
Daredevil.
bonus from Orin catching her?
We'll get into that. Tap.
nah, I think he'll just fall and take the damage.
Okay.
Featherfall,
Orin,
though.
you hold more. You cast Featherfall.
Aye.
Okay,
I
that's
have it
quickly done
prepared
as you
just
begin
for
to
this.
slide off.
We were
So,
climbing today.
Orin,
Think I'm not bringing that shit.
You watch the group. You stay at the back to watch the group push forward. I'm gonna say, yeah, I think Orin's plenty capable, especially if he has it ready. You can. I'll say that you can catch him and like push him off to the side to where he can scramble up if you use that free use of your move. So are you shoving him up, or what's going on here? Or you're actually trying to jump up and catch
for
him?
Alua.
Alua chooses not to fall. She's going to grit and just scramble up and just and just push herself to her limit.
Yep, she has been working out, guys. She's gonna prove it.
Yeah, so like she does succeed. She struggles but pushes forward and succeeds, but takes a point of exhaustion. She doesn't actually fail. She doesn't actually ever fall.
Okay. Then, Katep would hear that.
Yeah, Mora begins to fall, but as soon as soon as you see her, she's already in the process of casting something and begins to just kind of drift downwards slightly.
She says she can choose up to 5 falling creatures within range.
That's a good point.
What's
You know
the
what?
range?
Well, it's also
60 feet.
this is like a process thing. Mora, go ahead if you want to roll the d20 on a 10 or higher. You and Katep fall at the same time, and you can catch him. So, there you go.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Right,
Waste
yeah,
it
so you
there.
can-
Sure, why not?
You can kind of see maybe even it's that like seeing Mora begin to fall, Katep, you like maybe reach out for her and lose your balance some as well. They're like shit, and Mora can.
It's probably one of those things. I forget that I'm the 6.5 foot tall guy in full plate armor, so some of the rock just crumbles as soon as I take my hand off to kind of reach.
Yeah. You guys fall back to the bottom, though, is the thing. We'll have to try again.
Alua did bring out
But you
that
don't take
rope,
it.
so she could
Sure.
tie
Yeah,
it to
if you
something
guys-
at the top and throw it down.
Yeah, over the course of about a few minutes here, that would give you guys advantage on this check.
Do it.
And Kateb, you could take disadvantage, so a normal roll. Wait, no, she already has advantage in mind. So yeah, so you guys can attempt to climb back up once, and there won't be any. You know what? I'll say there actually wouldn't be. With a rope, you guys are fine. You guys aren't weak or incapable, and you have your allies assisting you. Takes about 10 minutes or so to kind of get everything situated, the rope down, secured, the rest of the group caught back up, but you surmise the first obstacle without any significant damage. Lou is just kind of,
Alua,
trying to
this
catch
is
her
what
breath a little bit.
She is taking. She takes out her water skin. She can't open it. She hands it to the first person that's in her vicinity. I think who was before me? Was it Sven?
Sure.
Okay, and she hands it to Sven. She's like, I can't open it. Help.
What can I do to help?
Open the water.
Open the water skin. It's probably either like a twist off that she can't open.
I think Sven's definitely insightful enough to understand what's happening. Like that Alua maybe pushed herself a bit too hard to save face.
Is there? What can I? That's greater restoration removes exhaustion, right?
There's
We
a
don't
few
got those yet.
little other magical things that might happen, but no, we don't have any of those right now, unfortunately. I think some potions might cure exhaustion or things like that. But
Yeah, there's a thing that I have that I asked if anyone wanted. It was the potion of restful thingy, potion of watchful rest. So if we wanted to take I could take it if I wanted to, but wait.
What does it do? Can you link it in the chat?
Yeah, sorry. Can I link it? How do I link it into the chat?
I'm worried if you click it, it'll
it might consume it.
I did. I thought maybe it gives you like, oh, would you like to show it? But that's what it does. So it would probably be done after, if there was a battle or whatever.
Yeah.
Can you put it back in my inventory, please?
Yeah, like I'll pull it up.
That's more like
That wouldn't fix it. That would just let you, like, you could stay awake. Like, if you wanted to brew potions all night long, you could take that and then spend 8 hours brewing a potion.
working on potions. Yeah. That's more someone's exhausted, or like a lot of people are exhausted, but we still need some people to take watch.
Yeah.
One person drinks this, and then is helpful that way.
Oh, yeah. Basically that. That's okay. That's fine. We good. Let's
Dude,
continue.
that item's fucking busted for this thing. Can I, like, send this to a player? No, just open up the player's thing. Alright, well, you guys continue along the way. No real worse for the wear from this first challenge. About 20 more minutes passed by. You guys are working to ascend this, I mean, again, treacherous to an extent, but by and large, not a serious threat for prepared adventurers. and you guys definitely are adventurers, whether or not you're prepared. Um, about a little over halfway up this ascent, you can really see, like, the lower levels of some of these buildings that jut out of the cliff face. Um, you come to a part where there was clearly once a bridge that spans about 100 feet horizontally, connecting one point of this trail upwards to the other. However, the wooden beams, or whatever the beams were of the bridge, have fully rotted away, and there's just these metal support beams located somewhat unevenly across the path. There's enough beams and there's regularly enough space to where you could hop from one beam to the other, but again, it won't be without some difficulty. Below you, like, the path that you've traveled is about 60 feet down, which would be a spot to catch your fall if you were to fall, but it is going to be a challenge to cross it. This is going to be an acrobatics check.
So I'm gonna just go ahead. I'm gonna just go ahead and cast spider
time
climb
right
on
now. Yep.
myself,
Yep.
and
And be
I
like,
can-
sorry guys,
I can
walk
help.
on the wall.
I can help some people across, I imagine, but
Yeah, that
time
lasts for an
consuming.
hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could.
Okay, I also have a potion of climbing. Somebody else could use.
I think
What is
that
the
would have
potion of
more been
climbing?
for the
Well, what does the
athletic
potion of climbing
stuff.
read? How does it read? Does it just give you a climb speed, or does it
Yeah.
give you advantage on climbing checks? Or
It gives you a climb speed and advantage on the athletics check, I think.
Gotcha. Yeah, somebody with something like that could probably try to just scale the cliff face around it. I would say it'd be like at a with the climb speed involved with that. I would say it'd be like a DC 10 athletics check to scale. Like, instead of trying to hop across, you're just like going horizontally across the rock surface.
Yeah. Okay, so can
Actually, I would say with the potion, somebody could solve this without issue. If they were trying to help somebody else, there'd be a check involved, but alone, that potion would negate this challenge. How long does that potion last?
1 hour?
Okay, good to know.
Wait.
We each take, a
Yeah,
little
1
bit of the potion and get it for a duration.
Sure, yeah.
So, okay.
Okay, you guys would see Sven like sit down and meditate for a second, and like it almost sounds like he's listening to a conversation, and like is nodding as if he's like learning something. And I'm gonna cast borrowed knowledge, and gain proficiency in acrobatics.
All right. I think you begin to
Okay.
hear these kind of like, I would imagine it just kind of like these gentle voices of some of the former worshippers of Eldath, kind of whispering into your ear and guiding your movements and the sort.
No, you have to tighten your core when you make that
Yeah,
movement.
right.
Squeeze your
Stand
butt.
up like this. Here's how you're balancing too much on your right foot. Here.
Yeah.
Things like that, yeah.
And then I'm gonna cast guidance on myself as well as I complete the.
Okay. So
So
To
I'm
be
gonna
clear here,
give the
too.
potion to somebody else, though.
Sure. Katep, I would say you could eat, like, just, taking a few minutes probably with each person, maybe like 5 minutes, to be safe with each person. You could get anybody who's not in medium or heavy armor without requiring a check.
Oh, so you can
So
get Alua
Joyce.
and Joyce.
Alua,
Oh, no.
well,
Alua's
no, I would
medium.
say-
Yeah, Joyce.
I'll actually say you're pretty strong. Anybody who's not in heavy armor, so anybody but Orin.
Well, okay, can I have
Hey,
that
you can
potion?
But you
piggyback.
can, yeah. But
Can
Orin,
you
what
push
is,
that potion back?
yeah. So,
Thanks.
and if you wanted to kind of in this choose not to do that, if you guys would just want to take the time component of this, and hang on to your spell slot, so then if you'd like to, if Sven wants
No,
to,
I mean it gives me an
take the
hour
time.
of. It gives me an hour, so presuming we're gonna run into something like it along the way.
Okay, yeah.
Is there
So,
a way- Is there a way
Also,
to
I
put
prepared
this
the damn
potion
spell. I'm
back
gonna
in my
use
inventory?
it.
what do you mean? see. Did you send it to
Like-
chat?
Yeah.
Yeah, since they're consumables, they like to get swallowed up. I'll send you one. You can also
Okay,
look
cool.
in the yeah, I've got it right here though.
'Cause-
I'm gonna put it in the Lewis Vapor thing up, and I'd have to change pages, and then just move it over to you. So yeah, so is that so who all is going to make the attempt?
So
I
think
am.
I'm the only other one in heavy armor, and Orin. It might be the first time people see it, but Orin might like scuttle back, couple of long strides, and then there's like that boom sound as he like jumps, and he clears it in a single leap.
How far can
With a
you go? With that?
psi-powered leap, 120.
Yeah,
If he
that'll
did
do
What?
dash.
Holy shit!
All right, yeah. So yeah, or you, yeah.
Yeah,
Make
there's
it. Do you want to like roll like do like a badass check or something? Like you succeed for sure. Do you want to like see like if you look like a fucking super dope crazy ninja, or do you just want to like play it safe and just look reliably badass?
But it's his first time. Reliably badass with his
Okay.
cloak fluttering.
Yeah. Okay.
so I imagine as Orin's doing that, Katep is just like done the Spider-Man thing where he has like one foot and hand just sticking to a cliff. He's just like, what the fuck? He can do that?
Yeah. No, wasn't sure he could until he tried.
Mm-hmm.
Alua starts mimicking her brother and is like, I can do that too. Like the competitive sibling thing is kind of strong right now.
No.
So Katep, you see Alua like still panting a little bit, still struggling since that earlier challenge, like gearing up, like all right, time to go.
And he probably just walking sideways along the wall just kind of puts an arm around her waist and starts carrying her across the gap instead.
And you allow that?
Hold on. I think, yeah, she's gonna allow it. There's gonna be a sour look on her face before she's like, okay, and then like put one hand on her hip and the other one above the air, like she's Superwoman or something like that, and be like, yeah, I'll she'll make up a story in her mind that it's her.
Sven, if you'd like, is Mora letting Katep help
Yeah,
her?
nah. Come on, Katep.
All right.
Alright,
If you
sorry,
want to
say
make
that
this,
again.
if you want to make this, Sven, it's an acrobatics check from you. Dexterity plus acrobat or plus proficiency.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the acrobatics +3.
Plus your guidance.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't
your
let me
moving
do
bond.
that. So that's a
Well, things you can
16.
fail, thankfully. Yeah.
Yeah, 16. So I mean, I'll use my
Yep.
The most
18.
graceful Goliath we ever did see.
Yeah, you're able to.
I have this image actually of just like he goes to leap, and then like just his legs go hybrid form, and he just
Sure.
like bounds across.
Sure, I'll allow it for funds.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. Probably don't have that sort of fine control in combat or something, but sure, why not?
oh yeah, no,
Yeah, you make it across
it's it mechanically didn't actually give me advantage because it's from the spell, but
all right, so about 20 minutes pass as Katep works, shuffles over. It's slow going still, even with the climb speed, having to one arm people, and, more as a dwarf in medium armor. She's not like a featherweight.
Nope.
Not that, like, Joyce definitely is. Alua, I feel like Alua might at times be like, no, I can make it from here. I don't know if she actually would, but that's my mental image of Alua.
No, I mean, I think she knows when she's being an
She's
idiot.
sulking.
Yeah, she's no. She's trying to find some creative ways to pretend she's flying. So one is Superwoman, the other one's Peter Pan. The other one
Stop.
kind of, and the other one is like someone who's on a lookout on a ship or something like that. Something stupid, just kind of keeping it entertaining.
Look at me, Oren. I'm flying.
She's just like, I'll catch up to you one day, I promise.
All right, yeah, about 20 more minutes pass by. You've been on the mountain cliff for about an hour now. It's taking a little bit longer than maybe you would fully have expected to ascend this winding pass, but You reach the other side without incident, without dangerous incident, rather. As the group's kind of recovering from this point, suddenly, not like by like, oh my goodness, such a surprise, but suddenly a group of Aarakocra descend from the cliff above, and stay hovering a bit above you guys and off out towards the cliff. Um, this group of Aarakocra you see are lightly armored in like leathers and like light chain, um, effectively light armor, spears and swords. The swords not in hand, but the spears certainly, not drawn on you guys, but alert. This group seems to be led by a dark black Aarakocra, kind of like a raven-esque imagery, who comes down and calls out, "Travelers, well, for what reason do you approach Kirsabal?" It's about like eight of these Aarakocra.
Yeah, Mora's gonna turn and look pointedly at like Katep or Alua, like.
Sven's head also turns to Katep.
And I'm just double checking that I have the name written down correctly here. But we were told that we wanted to speak with Ashara. Is that correct?
Probably.
Yes, that's right. That is right. That's my notes as well.
All right. Yeah. Katep will call back. It's like, we've come seeking to talk with Ashara about some of the ongoings in the jungle.
This fellow calls out to respond. You do have to like speak up. That's an accurate thing. He's 80 or so feet away, I would say, all
Yeah.
told. Calls back. For what reason do you wish to speak to the teacher? What ongoings trouble you? It's been many years since lowlanders have approached the cliff with peaceful intentions.
We're looking into the plagues afflicting the land, the creatures being mutated and changed, trying to figure out what the cause of it all is.
Well, you should know that you're not the first, as I say, to come to Kirsabal. But the teacher did insist that all pilgrims who come with peace in their hearts be permitted the ascent, should they manage it. You swear that this is you?
We have no intentions of causing trouble here. We're just looking for information.
Even still, we have been burned in recent memory. When you reach the ascent, you will be greeted as pilgrims and treated as guests to Kirsabal. But you will surrender your weapons and armor and magic. You will be protected inside, but we will not have a threat once again allowed to run free inside.
Once again. You see, Orin, speaks up once again with a question mark. You've had trouble recently?
We've had trouble recently. Doesn't seem keen on expanding. We might be able to pull it out of him if you guys pressed him.
Well, Alua also. Well, she doesn't have good persuasion right now. Alua will just ask. No, she looked tired though, and she looked like she's like ready to fall over. But she will say, "Were they strange travelers that were like humanoid? Five of them, perhaps."
Every traveler is strange who comes to Kirsabal on feet. Flaps his wings slightly to emphasize the point.
True, but did they have other colors like blue skin or red skin, or were they like regular skin, the brown and the beige?
We don't see skin color in Kirsabal. He's not, he doesn't seem particularly interested in talking right now with this sort of thing.
We can find somebody
ask
else to
later, yeah.
question in the temple.
He kind of goes on. He does kind of explain. And when you reach the top, and you are greeted, and you prove your peaceful intentions, then we can speak more. For now, I shouldn't trouble you. Every creature can make the ascent to Kirsabal, but not everyone can survive it.
Alua holds up, wait! And then she points behind where they came, and she's like, that the dead space over there with the poor trees and the flowers. Do you know what happened?
Did you enter Kirik's Grove?
No, we went around it.
You're not the stupidest outsiders to come to Kirsabal then. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I'm sorry, what grove? Can we have that repeated, please?
Yeah.
Kirik's Grove. Kirac.
Whoa, that's good to know. All right, let's
Thank you.
Zeta, no. Does that name mean anything to?
You guys can anybody history proficient can make a Hail Mary.
Hey, alright, I'll try.
history. Let's get
how am I?
this.
Let me
20. Give me a 20. Yes.
Ooh.
Or.
At disadvantage for you, Alua, because
Oh,
you're
fudge.
Because
Oh, yeah, you still got your 23, Alua. It's okay. It's okay. I got your 23. It's fine.
That was so funny.
So excited just to go, wait, fuck.
no nothing rings a bell, unfortunately.
Yeah, I didn't think it.
This,
Yeah.
probably
Dwarf lady
something that
knowing
means-
something off in an island? Nah, bro.
Sorry, Alua.
Well, thanks for holding on to that 23 for me, though, even though it wasn't.
Yeah, I
really
tried.
worth
I tried real hard.
It doesn't mean anything. I will say, like,
Rough.
sounds menacing, right?
Like, I like to think it kind of comes up to her head, like maybe something, like it's on the tip of her tongue, and she's like, nah, that's not what it is. It's stupid.
Yep.
She actually knows, but psyched herself out. Yeah, I believe that.
She catches the hiccups from being so tired. Like, shit, let me deal with this. Yeah, he doesn't seem too interested in talking. He does kind of pause. My name is Garrick. I'm the leader of the Cliff Watch. Garrak. Garrick.
Alua looks over and she said, Did he say garlic?
Oh,
No, he didn't.
Dude, it's crazy though how you just realizing in that like ascent, like where you scrambled up, man, you fucking broke your toe. Ow, shit.
this DM and broken toes lately. It's almost like he almost did it to himself.
She does cure wounds on herself.
No, but I typed it right. Woo.
All right, anybody want to kind of call out, try to draw more information from him? It might have to be a little bit like more,
Sure.
less just asking questions and more flattering or something. To
More demanding.
No, just
either
thank you.
demanding or flattering, as opposed to just asking.
Yeah. I think Alua will be like, thank you, you fly beautifully. We'll see you at the top.
Just kind of
You're
gives
doing
you
a
just
fantastic
side
job.
look, flies up.
My
So you-
notes are
yeah.
so random.
All right.
Sorry.
For the last leg
Okay.
of this ascent. Oh, go ahead, Warren.
when they're out of sight, can I put my hammer into the bag of holding?
You can, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Mora's keeping her book. Sorry. I don't care how uncomfortable it makes them.
We
It's
were
my focus.
specifically told not to trust them, and so I don't want to. Can we give our the other arms we don't want to lose? Just throw anything that could fit. The shield probably wouldn't get through the opening, but I think Katep's like sword would, and you can argue that the shield's not a weapon.
Katep will drop
Could argue
his
that.
old silvered Kopesh into the bag, but keep the normal one because it would be weird if he was walking around with the shield but no weapon.
That's true.
For the last stretch of this this approach, that's a little bit better condition than the ascent so far, which is to say that some of the wooden structures that like supported the bridge and railings and such are merely rotting in places as opposed to rotting all the way through. For this last stretch, everybody's going to need to make a perception check to avoid stepping somewhere they shouldn't, or otherwise
Of
mistaking full good wood for bad. Again, somebody can choose to take disadvantage for themselves to give somebody else advantage, which would be like looking out for someone else as well.
Man, I don't trust my roll enough already. Like, shh.
This checks out. Weird question. If I start to fall, would I still have spider climb going at this point, or would enough time have passed that it's...
Let's see what happens.
My passive is great. My actual active perception,
Do
not
we know
so
how much time
much.
has passed?
Your emboldening bond has certainly faded.
Yeah,
Actually, it
but
would've faded.
like the spider climb
yeah,
lasts an hour, right, Katab?
yeah. Yeah, it's still up.
Okay.
But what that means might
Well, don't worry, I'm also really good at dexterity saves, so I'm
I know you
sure I'll be fast enough to catch myself.
I know you are. So Lou got a 7, so just need 1 from Sven for perception check.
Oh, sorry.
Now, Alua, the sad thing there is that you do normally have advantage on perception checks, so it is still the 7, the first roll, because it'd be
You've
normal.
rolled so many nat 20s when you can't use them, Alua.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
because
so many
of
nat
her,
Aw.
yeah, because of the soul flame lantern, I do have whatever.
Yeah, so it wouldn't cancel out the disadvantage
Yeah.
from being exhausted, but it was still a 7 because it was your first roll. So anybody who got lower than a 15 is going to have a hazard here. It's kind of the same mechanical situation where you can either choose to take exhaustion or points of damage. I'm going to say, in your case, Katab, Spider Climb wouldn't help you. You know what? I'll say make a dexterity saving throw. The walkway actually just kind of crumbles out beneath you, as opposed to like it's just a straight fall. You can't. It's going to be harder to catch yourself. But I'll give you a chance. I'll just set the same DC of 15. There you go.
Nailed it.
Yeah. Able to, oh shit, kind of scramble out, and like your hand just kind of naturally lunges for a wall, and you just kind of stick there and hold there for a moment, and like manage to catch yourself, because it doesn't like attach your hand to the wall per se, but you're able to catch yourself with the enhanced magical ability and scramble back up. But Alua and Orin, both of you all will hit a bad point where you have to make a choice to either catch yourself, like exert and catch yourself, scramble more aggressively forward to exhaust yourself by 1 point, or tumble down the way a little bit, take some damage.
Well, when you say tumble down the way, like define down the way.
It's about a 50-foot drop that you'll tumble before you can catch yourself.
There's no way with her exhaustion she'd be able to do it again. She's just like, I'll just accept my
Oh,
fate
I'm
and
muted.
suffer.
Hold on. Can I let Orin tumble while using, because I used my psi power leap, but I saw my telekinetic movement because we didn't use it before. Can I use that to hold Alua in place while Orin will fall and take damage?
What's that feature read? Is that the one where you can move somebody 30 feet?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I'll let you do that. I'll say that you're able to. Let's make it be a intelligence check to see whether or not you're able to steer her back onto the path to where she won't have to try anything further, or just kind of shunt her off safely, but a bit behind. Yeah, that's definitely good enough. Yeah, you're able to quickly move and impact the force at the right place to kind of propel her back up over the edge of the walkway that started to crumble out, and the rest of the group's able to grab her and stumble and catch her free. You don't all fall at the same time, so when you fall, it'd be on your own situation, like its own challenge on its own. Again, you can choose to take a point of exhaustion to automatically succeed, or just tumble down a little ways and take some bonks and bruises.
I mean, yeah, he would just take bruises.
I was saying in this case, it's not the situation where you have to like recheck. Like everybody can like help out like further. So you're gonna take this one. This one. 9, 13, 14, 15. 19 points of bludgeoning damage. You tumble down, but you're able to like catch yourself a little bit down. You're not free falling. And like a bit bruised up, you're able to rejoin the party from there. And avoid the spot that your feet excavated.
All right.
And from there, the path up is normal, just stone staircases that look like they've even been swept a little bit, and you guys can finish your approach towards the lower landing of Kirsabal.
Lua feels like really bad knowing that her brother caught her, so she's gonna cast Cure Wounds on him.
Sure. I think after that we can go ahead and take a break
10.
All right.
and see what sort of greeting awaits you in the Aarakocra Monastery of Kirsabal.
Oh, I didn't take a long rest.
You, of course, obviously.
Okay. All right. Do that after during break. All right. Going to break now. live.
Is
We're
that
live.
offensive?
Yeah, probably. Which
don't
is why I
even
didn't
know.
do it
I
when
don't
we were
even know.
going live.
Yeah.
Only you guys will ever know my retardedness. I'm sorry. Sorry, that's a
Oh.
bad word to say too. Stupidness?
All right.
Mm.
Well, we pick back up the group, finishing the ascent into Kirsabal, which itself is like built on the side of the cliff. It is a vertical monastery by and large. There's walkways connecting buildings at different height levels. But as you guys kind of reach that lower threshold, you are Garrick is there waiting for you all, uh, along with that same assortment of other Aarakocran, kind of blocking the pathway up. You made it. This is good. My name is Garrick. I welcome you to Kirsabal, where we toil beneath the sun, seeking the wisdom of the teacher, the fruits of the jungle. You come in peace, so that your peaceful intentions be made clear. We ask that no weapons be present inside.
Alua like gasped and she's like, "Do you have a chair?"
And kind of there's like seating places and benches around. You could take a seat there. Yes.
Oh, thank you, sir. And then she goes and walks over and like plops herself down and almost falls asleep.
Sure thing. Sarah Coker continues to watch though. In older times we were more welcoming. Our welcome has been abused and our people suffered for it. Therefore, if you will, please, he kind of gestures off to the side. There's this one of the Eric Okran fellows steps forward. There's a chest kind of placed slightly on the ground. They kind of step back, making a space. If you place your weapons, your armored shields, we'll say, and any dangerous magical implements with our safekeeping.
All right. Well, like I said, we didn't come here to cause harm, just looking for information. So,
We understand this, and this
Uh,
is good.
and as he says,
Uh,
that Katap's like taking off his shield and the belt that has the sword in it. And I guess if they want his armor, they're gonna have to wait the 10 minutes it takes
So,
to get
like,
out of
pause
it.
should kind of reconsider the armor.
Moral have put her book away before we got up to this point. It's just at her side. She's not gonna draw any attention to it, but set her warhammer down. Be like, here you got it.
Yeah, Orin will put his machete in there.
The thing. So you guys kind of begin to make the bare minimum of this. He comments, "We do mean, and apologies for our protectiveness, any dangerous magical components." Kind of watching of Mora and kind of continuing to look at you all. This would include anything which you can might procure harm. He's just kind of crossed his arms and is watching you all. Doesn't seem entirely appeased by what
Yeah.
you've done. So
Sven would not like eagerly per se, but like willingly hand over everything and anything asked of him.
Mora does not like the idea of putting her book in the hands of some random fuckos, so she's just not going to draw attention. She'll put her component pouch down as well, because she technically
He
has one,
will. He
but
will
she's
keep
not
his
giving
holy
up her
symbol.
book.
yeah, so you guys kind of are reticent. Gotta give a long sigh. You should know this. Some months back, some travelers came under the pretenses of peace and friendship to Kirsabal. There's several dozen of us, but we're no army here. We're a peace-loving people. Myself and a few others here try to keep the peace. In the past, we have made no such demands. We have made no such insistences. But these intruders broke into the homes of some of our pilgrims, took people with them, fled down the cliffside. We're not going to be arming any threat so easily. So, Miss Dwarf, the spell book, others, these pouches. I'm no fool. We're not foolish here. But we're afraid we must insist. If you wish to speak to the teacher, we need to ensure that you're no threat to her. What do you guys do?
I think with that, Mora would turn, having a journal in one hand and handing it to Alua, going, I'm not giving my book up to these people. I don't trust anyone to touch my book, have my book anywhere near them. They're my secrets, not theirs. Take notes. You know what we need. And Mora will turn, grab her stuff, and start heading back down.
We won't look through these belongings.
You don't trust us to keep basic things on ourselves. I'm not going to trust a lot of you with my knowledge. Thank you.
Seems to me.
Wait, sorry. Out of character, he's only asking for.
No, he
Like-
wants her spell book to be put down
That's
out of
for
her
anything
sight.
they consider dangerous.
And he specifically said
They
her
seem
spell
to have
book, or said no.
seem to have recognized some of the magical items you guys have, and are to this point insisting on it.
But yeah, Mora would have picked back up her pouch, her warhammer, and walked back the other way.
Well, hold on. Let's have. Oren's gonna quickly mind talk to a couple people. Let's have Alua, do the long range mind link with Mora. Mora can stay here with our stuff. And if anything happens, Alua can like send a quick message and Mora can fireball her way in.
Well, maybe not, but
You guys can attempt other solutions. Like you guys
Yeah, I was
can
about to say.
attempt to convince them. You can generally
My
try
-1 will
alternatives.
totally convince them. No.
Sure, you guys, the party is what I'm saying. You know, the group can look for alternatives or press the issue, anything like that. You know, it's not a finite thing. You can make insight checks to gauge their intentions.
So like,
Things like
can I get Katep? Can I have like, Oren in Katep's mind, kind of giving him the words to say to get advantage on a persuasion check, to be like, we're the heroes. Any trouble you might have had is kind of what we're here to solve.
I would generally say something like this would require like multiple people interacting with the person. You can help, like you can chime in on something. Katep can chime in. Things like that is what I would say. I would think it would have to be something that he would need, or that this person would need to kind of gauge the intentions of multiple people.
Like, yeah, kind of show him our badges. Like,
and
both
is
heroes.
Sven's willingness at all to cooperate? Any kind of like,
You step forward.
demonstration of like honesty and good intentions?
So kind of like stepping forward, they get a kind of note your approach, and like you place some things down, and he's like, "Don't mind for a cursory inspection," like a pat down. Is kind of what he's suggesting. And if you allow it, then one of the Aarakocrans will move forward and just kind of not like an invasive deep body search, not like a TSA search, but we'll begin like just like kind of like tapping the coin pouch. Okay, those are coins. It's fine. And they do go like move for the holy symbol and just kind of pick it up. They're not like these people aren't aggressive in any way. So then you have a high enough passive insight to recognize that they don't seem like they're not quietly harboring hostility. At least it doesn't seem that way. They pick up one of them palms the holy symbol that around the neck, like a typical holy symbol.
Well, yes, it has it is wearable on the pendant, but it also has like he normally slots it into his shield, right? But he take it out and put it on linked it to a yeah. It's just a simple, basically string.
But they kind of hold
pendant.
it kind of look at it and kind of show it to this leader, the Garrick, who's like, the symbol of Eldath. You follow the Maiden of Waters.
She speaks to me through the language of peace and domains of life. I am a old and retired, however recently, reinstated medic and carer of injured. I am accompanying these fine adventurers on their their noble quest, you could say, to keep them safe from the terrors of the wilds of this jungle.
And gives a slow nod. We're familiar with the green one. Here, the quiet one, I'm sorry. The quiet one, here in Kirsabal. You swear by her name that your intentions are peaceful, that and your companions?
As my life depends on it. I know a grizzled old Goliath like myself doesn't always look the part, but by Eldath's name I swear it.
He kind of gives a nod, bob of his head, but kind of seems impressed by the declaration, certainly. But looks to the rest of y'all still. Anybody else going to? I guess is anybody else going to try to hide anything? They're trying to, they seem aware of some of the magical items you have. Somehow, might have some means, or just are perceptive enough for that. They're asking you to leave like your bags of holding behind. You would need to like let them look through the backpack, right? If you're not trying to hide anything, then you can just say that. But if you would resist any of those things,
Katap has put his weapons and his shield and stuff into the box.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, Alua would also follow suit, make sure everything was like off of her possession. The only thing she willingly cannot give is the lantern.
Yep.
So that's like, it's just like, oh, it's a light, and hopefully they just think it's a magical light that keeps on, and that's it.
Well, here's what happens: is you kind of move up and kind of step back. Garrett kind of pauses. What's this? Kind of gestures towards that lantern. This isn't natural.
Do you want to see it? Okay, so this is what it does. It has saved us. Did you know that we got attacked the other night by some undead creature things? Now, you know those undead creature things, sometimes they do stuff, right? This lantern, and she like opens it, it's like it keeps on all the time. So if you need like a night light, you took to the bathroom, that works.
He
if
recoils at seeing the light. Foul magic is this. Make a persuasion check for me.
Foul?
At disadvantage.
I know, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to say this isn't one that would require. This is kind of a bit more quasi-passive. I'll give you just a normal on this one.
Okay. And she's there like offended. She's like, but it's just a forever light.
Just my freaky bloodletting lantern. No big deal.
As it goes.
Hey, persuasion. 22?
It is pretty good, but Steven still, he turns. Let me double check what languages Erica runs.
Did you need me to make a check, by the way? I kind of just
no. He just
spoke through it, but
they seemed to recognize Eldath. Yeah. So they turn and speak in just this quick kind of like chirpy language that vaguely sounds like a natural language for them. It's the Erica language.
So they're sending tweets to each other?
Yeah, more or less they're tweeting to each other. And one of them scuttles away. Garrett turns back. We're going to seek the advice of the teacher in this case. Such a foul artifact has no easy welcome in Kirsabal.
Wait, why is it foul? It's just a spell that keeps the light on.
There's something dark about its magic. I can sense it. Even from here.
She gives him a weird eye. You can sense if it's good or not?
You can sense some nature of the magic. Surely you sense this as well. Gives
No.
you guys like a
Or-
flabbergasted look to the rest of you all.
We've been telling her this for months.
It's Lighty is
For what it's
fun.
worth,
Saved our butts how many times?
it did seem to be a deterrent of sorts against the undead. And like she mentioned, it did save us much harm. This is the player goofing his words, but so whether it's related to that, I hope that is it. But we as caretakers of these artifacts and powers have no foul intentions, I assure you. But
Kind of
if you must consult your teacher, then we respect that decision.
Yeah, she sounds pretty cool.
Her wisdom is a gift from the gods themselves. We could only hope to have a fraction of her understanding of these things. As such, we seek to protect her. He turns to and gestures for the group to follow. Come. We'll show you to a place where you can make arrangements to rest. We're not going to cast you off the mountain, but you might not be allowed to wander Kir Sabal. He's kind of looking towards Amora as he says this.
If you don't mind, I do have a question. These bad people that came to your lovely home did stupid stuff. Do you know what they look like? Could maybe write it down if we see them. We can try.
The teacher has asked us not to speak of this at length. If you have questions, save them for her.
Oh, I can do that. Okay.
Understand, the teacher is kind and generous. To a fault, perhaps. And it falls to me and us to protect from the malevolent interests of outsiders.
That's true. I understand. But were any of the items taken of great importance that they are needed back?
They didn't take items, they took people.
Ew! Oh, I did not hear that. I, the player, did not hear that.
Was probably too exhausted to hear it.
Possibly.
To
I
connect the dots.
heard. I heard breaking in and grabbing things, but not
But-
people.
He leads the way up the monastery a little bit. You see, it's not like a ton of Aarakocra. He said a few dozen. It's kind of somewhat matching that just from what you guys are trying to keep track of. Many of them are young, like kids, teenagers, juveniles in general. You see some old ones. Most of these Aarakocra aren't armed. None of them are armed or armored except the few that are escorting you all up the ways. You can see, like, kind of get the... They don't walk particularly elegantly. They're kind of, like, shuffling, and obviously they don't like the idea of walking. In fact, two of them actually take to the skies and just kind of watch from above. But they lead the way, if everybody follows, up to just a plain stone building that's been carved into the entryway. Kind of turns. This house once housed the princess of the jungles. Now it serves as a place for your type to rest without the difficulties that Kir Sabal might present to you. We can offer
The
this.
jungle. Oh, sorry.
Gives Alua like he's like catching on to Alua's thing, and he's like he doesn't like it. He's just like very stern. Hey, he's kind of like a more stern, guard captain kind of vibes, whereas Alua's, the eager, like very much that like the fewer questions people ask, the better in this guy's mind. But he kind of just gives a look, says, "You're welcome to stay. For now, one of these with me will stand in with you. Keep watch. Not interfere, but listen. Is this acceptable?"
Who is it going to be? And then she looks over at his companion.
Kind of like looks to the rest of the group. None of them, like all of them, are kind of like not meeting his eyes. Kashira, well, points to like this somewhat shorter, younger looking Aarakocra, like white and brown feathering. She kind of like deflates a little bit, but then straightens up and nods, and steps forward. Name is Kashira.
Kashira.
Please. We mean no aggression here. We're just trying to be careful.
It's respectable.
You can rest inside. Gather your breath. Gather refreshments. The teacher can occupy her own schedule, he says carefully.
Sven gives like a slight bow and says, "We are grateful for your gracious hospitality."
You will keep your belongings, your dangerous implements of war, in this building. He points to another one nearby. You're free to leave at any time, but you're not free to wander with weapons or dangerous artifacts, magic, etc. through Kirsabal.
Alua looks over at Mora and like, is that okay?
She's gonna look over. You still try to make me give up my book?
If you
I
wish
have
to,
everything else. You're not getting my book.
if you wish to wander,
I have no desire
you need to do
wander.
so. Very well. The home is hospitable. If you need other amenities, they can be provided. We have fresh water. We have meals 3 times a day. More details. We'll have food brought to you until we can speak with teacher on this matter. And kind of gives another look to the lantern. Is like, oh, like he ain't about that shit. Very clearly, like kind of bristles his feathers slightly.
Wait, what did he say?
He said until we deal like with this kind of vibe.
Oh, okay.
Like
So
until we can hear teacher's thoughts on fucking spooky ass soul lantern. He seems very, very, tweaked by it in ways that like people haven't. Like those of you guys who are aware of the curse, like damn, like at least he's like treating this seriously. Finally, somebody is. Kind of. There might be that kind of like, okay, cool. He's not a lunatic like Alua is.
And Alua's like, he's just a paranoid old man, Captain. Very nice doing his job, though, but I don't understand. It's just a lantern. Okay, so then Alua also wouldn't be able to go out and walk around. She'd have to stay inside.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anybody who isn't carrying something that they would take offense to could like move around a little bit. You'll be escorted for now. That's fairly obvious. But otherwise generally unhassled for the time being. You guys have like a house that you've been, shown the door to and allowed inside if you guys want to stop and, drop what's left of your belongings and such inside and get a bit cozy. And have any conversations.
Absolutely.
No, definitely. Orin might be a good. I don't think we want to linger here. Definitely don't feel unwelcome, and all that. We're told not to trust them. They don't trust us. Nobody's trusting them. If we can get some information and move on to the next stage, I think it's better off for everybody. So we'll go into the meeting and let Katep do all the talking?
Whenever the teacher is like, yeah, send them in, I guess. But until then, I guess we just hang tight in this house they're letting us rest in, or
I'm
Alright.
fine with that.
The house is
Anybody
pretty
wants
nice.
to wander, do it in pairs.
The house is pretty nice. It's got 4 rooms, a kitchen, like a living room, and a few bedrooms. With like not great mattresses, but probably better than bedrolls, maybe. Like it's normal, accommodations, the sort of
Yeah, it's a
things you guys would be
Holiday Inn.
used to. Yeah, more or less. Like it's not bad. It's not run down. It's not bad, but it's not fancy by any means. It's not great, but there's pots and pans, a small kitchen area. This gorgeous, couple windows with like incredible views out onto the jungle floor far below. What I give her name? I've already forgotten it. Kachira, I think.
Yep.
She kind of
Kachira.
lingers by the door. Though, and once you guys kind of end your conversation, she can. So where are you all from? It's been years since anybody's come to Kirsabal. Not years, months. Sorry, DM guy getting that wrong. Not her. It's been months, and the last guests, they weren't so polite. They gave off. Nobody was. We were surprised. We were shocked, but not surprised. That's when I joined Garrick's group after what happened.
well, a number of us are from Waterdeep, though. Sven, I don't think I ever asked where you're from originally.
Waterdeep, is that on the ocean?
It's close to the ocean. It's like a harbor city.
Yeah, on the mainland. Thousands of miles that way. Do you want to see a map?
Does a little point to a direction and just say
Yes.
that way? And just point it
Yes.
nondescriptly in a direction.
Okay, so she's not. I don't know how good she would be in terms of directions. I think it'd be one of those cases where Katep would like move. No, you know what? No, she joined her father on so many little expeditions. She would know which way to go. She needs a son.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
You've also got a pretty good wisdom. So.
Yeah. I myself as a player sucks.
Is that further than the Dawn Warrior?
I can show you, and then she'll pull out a map because he had a map, and she'll be like, here.
Yeah.
So we're here.
What
And
is
we
this?
traveled. It's a map.
I'm kind of that's silly. The world's not that big.
You'd be very surprised until you start traveling, and then you're like, oh boy, there's a lot of things here.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem to be buying it, but in that youthful way.
Yeah.
Like,
Anyway,
No, it's true. There's fascinating locations out there.
So the Earth
Giant
is also round?
deserts.
that's just silly.
why not? Why is it silly? Just because you don't believe it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
No, I think that's how it works. And she kind of gives a cheeky grin.
Oh,
Sorry
you.
about all of this. Garrick's daughter was one of the ones who
Yeah.
is missing.
Who are these people? We'll find them.
I'm not supposed to talk about it.
Ah, okay. But if it's in your best interest, like what if we stumble upon somebody and like what if it's one of your people? Or what if it's those bad people and we don't know what they look like and
Garrick says a good rule of thumb is that if you meet walkers, she kind of like tests the word. She's unsure seemingly what to reference people who don't have wings by. Walkers out in the wild, you just fly away. And if you have to fight, well, you do it. But if they stop you from flying away, that means they're bad. He says most people are bad, but also slow. I'm not very slow. I'm fast.
well, I think we could say the same for non-walkers, right? There's things out there that fly. They almost took us the other day.
Now we
Took
know.
almost-
There's
so then-
these stone winged beasts that try to prey on Kirsabal sometimes, but Garrick fights them off. We do too.
Stone winged beats. Now that sounds silly. Stone can't fly. Can they?
Does that ring any bells in?
Make nature checks. It's not a very
will.
high
I
DC.
So not fucking 20, so
Yeah, you're familiar with the concept of gargoyles.
okay.
stony winged monstrosities.
Gargoyles are typically. Do I know the origin of like? Are they created? Are they naturally
They're
occurring?
created, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Like that's like an indicator that there's probably somebody who's in control of them, or do they just get like?
Yeah,
Do they have any kind of free will? Do they?
with a nat 20, I'll say that you and Oren, you would know this information as well with a higher roll. Jeez Louise, Oren's smart as fuck. Always get caught off guard. You guys like you've heard plenty of stories of Chult. Like Chult is like there's like liches and like undead warlords and evil necromancers and like
Okay.
lots of bad people throughout the history of Chult. Like
Right.
you would gather, even if somebody's not making them now, like remnants, gargoyles can last until they're destroyed as creations. They do have like autonomy as well. Like they're not. Maybe it's mixed. Like they can have autonomy and just kind of just be passively doing what they do if left unchecked. So like not enough to know like, oh, there is clearly somebody right now out there
Right.
who wants it in for
So like,
Kirsten. It could have
that
been
must
like
be Greg's gargoyles.
yeah, it could have been like 1,500 years ago. A wizard made gargoyles and said, "Hey, fuck up Kirsabal," and they've just been trying to figure it out since then, long after their master died. That sort of thing.
Mostly unrelated. Do we have a world map? I can't seem to find one on Foundry.
We do. I'd hit it by accident. I'll make sure it's back active.
Okay. Thank you.
No rush. But yeah, unless you guys stop, like deflect her, this young Aarakocran guardswoman is very fascinated by you all, and unabashedly so, kind of asking you guys where you've been, what you've done, and just kind of like generally chatty and friendly overall. If you guys want to take the opportunity to try to get information out of her, you can. Like you can tell me you want to like try to angle it that way.
The dead circle.
Yeah,
the dead jungle part.
Yeah, that, or
Gotcha.
if we could also probably get information on the teacher as well, like personality, like how should we greet her, or their customs, whatever, things like that too.
Sure. Sorry, I'm caught up trying to find this map. Map's right there. Fair, and there it is. Hopefully you'll be able to access it now. You can also go into the scene directory, I believe, and you should be able to like find things that way if they're not at the top. But here we go. Should be there now. Yeah, go ahead and make both of you all make persuasion checks, I'll say. Or Oren can give Alua advantage to cancel that out.
Definitely would be.
Okay, yeah.
Helping Alua.
Or not.
It's a 17. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Make her roll an insight check to see if she, like, the questions here would be like guiding the conversation. If you ask her directly, she'll be like, "Oh no, I can't answer that." But you guys can are trying to steer it.
Alua definitely wants to know a little bit more about customs, though.
What do Aarakocrans have? Might have seen through y'all. We just double check. Nah, I'll say still 17. I think it's just a DC, not an insight check. You gather like you soften her up by kind of answering her questions and like telling her like short, quick stories. Like probably super fascinated by the dragon, but like I've heard that there's dragons in the south near the volcanoes, but I've never actually seen one. You fought one? That's an underground? That's crazy. That sort of thing, You approach the topic of the dead circle. Oh, right, Kirak's Grove. We're forbidden to go there. It's dangerous. Something happened decades back, I think, is what I was told. Some outsider went there and did something in an old tower that crumbled. We can see the tower when we fly way overhead and to the side, but I've never been. It looks dangerous. The older people tell stories, but I don't really believe them. I don't think they're. It's just kind of a thing to scare us, I've heard 3 different things, but it does look very dangerous.
Ooh, stories?
Yeah, you know, like of monsters that live inside. They're full. They're not true. I won't even repeat them, but something's there. You see how the jungle is perpetually dying. It's been that way, unchanging for years and years, as long as I can remember.
But not before that
I
terrible
don't know.
person put the
I
curse on?
mean, that's what I've been told. That was before I was born, though.
But that's terrible. If
Something
it
in
keeps
that
expanding,
tower. It's not
if it
expanding. It's just
oh,
there.
oh, I see. All right. Well, let's hope it doesn't expand.
I hope so. You shouldn't go that way. It's wrong.
Hmm.
Then kind of on the teacher's like, oh well, the teacher, her wisdom is a gift from the gods, and she's very old and very wise and kind and gentle, and she begins to just like heap accolades on. You guys begin to pick up that they. It's hard to imagine that this creature that's being built up will live up to the hype. You gather there might be a little bit of like, you know, idol worshipping almost of this figure. That they say nothing bad about her. They just heap praise upon praise about her wisdom, about her kindness, about her foresight, about all these different things. Um, Nothing on like how to address her. Like she's just the teacher.
Do we
Kind
call
of
her
seems a bit.
ma'am or just the teacher? Do we
She's
bow?
she seems confused by like these ideas of things. I don't. She's just the teacher. And she would repeat. Um,
Can I do an insight? Is this like
yeah,
a
insight check.
like a I don't know how to explain. There's like a little bit of warning signals going. Ah, this is
Anybody
disadvantage
else
though.
wants to make one? Wants to insight check this eager little.
Yeah, I can make an insight check.
Go for it.
I think I just have the feeling of something being off, but not knowing. Like that's just weird.
Say Yolu. I mean, it's off in the sense that like nobody's this awesome, right? Um, yeah, and so then you I would say kind of confirmed that like they're almost speaking of this individual as if they're like more than mortal, as if they're like close to a god, um, like a saint kind of situation. They you don't know that this figure and probably others here in this monastery who linger probably don't have a clear opinion, like a neutral opinion on this figure. Um, I mean, she certainly seems to believe what she's saying. That she's kind and that this figure, the teacher, is kind and knowledgeable and gentle and wonderful and has the best interest in the jungle and knows so much about the jungle and all these different things. Every single wise teacher vibes magnified by 100.
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Anything else you guys want to do in the interim right now?
How long is it taking approximately?
Thinking a couple of hours are passing by.
Oh, okay. Short rest.
Take a short rest. If there's anything
All right,
you guys need to
good
do
night.
during the short rest.
Get my free things back.
I think I get it.
Your free things come back on a short rest or a long rest? So your
Depends.
dice
Says
that
a
come
short
back.
or long.
Yeah,
Right.
your dice come back on the long, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
I'll double check real quick.
All right, Aluna. Oh my goodness, Alua will ask the girl like, "Do you want to learn how to do a dance? Teach her dancing or something."
It's like, what do you mean, Dan?
Short or long.
Eyeing you suspicious.
Alua will grab I don't know who's next to her, whoever's next to her, and be
Tap.
like this, Katep. Yeah, Katep, and be like this. Well, Katep is awkward. She looks at like this, maybe not. Oh yeah, I know who. She'll look over at Joyce. Joyce, dance with me. Do you want to dance?
I'm reading.
But
She's
dancing.
got like a book, like her diary.
Uh-huh.
Now.
I No, I don't want to force you. I was just asking if you wanted to dance.
Sounds like you kind of want to force me.
Oh, I just want to show somebody that we can dance and it's fun and you shake your booty and
At that point,
gyrate.
there's a knock on the door.
Later. We'll do dance later.
Could we come in? You hear
Yes!
Garrick's voice out. Door swings open, and you see two Aarakocra, or three Aarakocra rather. One of them is Garrick, and another of the guards who come in. No spears, just short swords or scimitars kind of sheathed at their hip. And they're flanking this this pale blue feathered Aarakocran who's wearing just a very simple, modest robe. Looks it's hard to like really gauge Aarakocran like genders and age and stuff. They're very, very like they don't have the facial expressions of humans, the tones of humans. But it's clear that this Aarakocran is extremely old. She's somewhat hunched over. She's got this just simple but like elegantly simple walking cane that she's kind of leaning on. Pair of small spectacles, like half moon spectacles, resting on her beak. And she gives a bright smile. You're the outsiders, then, the new arrivals, pilgrims to Kirsabal. It's so wonderful to meet you. Garrick has told me of your arrival. I hope he wasn't too stern with you lot. You must be exhausted from your journey. May I come in?
Please do, and thank you for taking the time to meet with us.
Wait, is this the teacher? Is this the teacher? Hold up.
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
I'm like
Probably
pretty sure. Can I do an
could
insight check?
Probably,
But
yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Make an insight check on this.
Alua
this
will like
appearance
pipe up and
such.
ask her, "Oh, are you the teacher?" Like all excited.
My name is Ashara, but many do call me teacher, yes, and I try to guide them humbly, but to the best of my abilities.
Oh, another A name. I'm Alua.
It's wonderful to meet you, Alua. What of the rest of you? Garrick didn't. I doubt he even asked for them. He's very formal, very stern, Garrick. He needs to lighten up.
Well, we're gonna have a
He's
dance
kind of,
competition after.
Oh, I'm far beyond my dancing years. Yeah, like she seems to be what she's presenting herself, which might be a front of some sort, but if so, she's very good at it. She looks very, very old. I don't think anybody here is really too familiar with Aarakocran biology and like how long they live and things like that. But she's very much grandmother, old grandmother vibes. She smiles. She seems kind. She seems upfront. You do catch like there's a shrewdness to her eyes, though, Sven. Like a sharpness that she seems to be trying to mute with her like her kind of congenial motherly behavior. But she definitely gives you guys a quick look. She quickly kind of looks to that lantern that Alua has nearby, sweeps her gaze across everybody. But like not like in an aggressive or like malicious way, just observant fashion. So, tell me, did Garrick give you too much trouble upon arriving?
No, he is firm, as you said, but just acting out of desire to protect people here, which I can respect.
He told me there was some concerns with some of the items that you come to Kirsabal with. Is that anything that I should be aware of?
I think he was concerned about a magical lantern that I possess that just keeps on at all times, just about. And if there's any dead things around, it kind of annoys them, which is very handy in this area and has saved our butt a few times. And I think it's great. I named it Lighty.
Kind of gives a. That's wonderful. That's not all that it does, is it? Though.
Think so. I did notice a bolster in some of my constitution, especially if there's like poison involved. Let's see, what else can it do? A little bit more
Give a
precise.
Ben's
slight
head
look.
like slowly turns to Walua with like an eyebrow raised.
Well, be careful with such things. Oftentimes the intentions of the wise and the insightful don't line up with the actions, and some prices aren't worth paying, no matter what the reward is. In any case, welcome to Kirsebon. May I offer you the freedom to explore this monastery, uh, to speak with and meet with the people, and we'll continue to speak. I just want to make sure you don't feel like prisoners. We don't keep prisoners here in Kirsebal. Um, Garrett kind of like dips his head and kind of like like gives like a ear, like he's not like openly irritated, he's trying to hide it, but some of you guys are insightful enough to read in that he's like not happy with this. But
We were allowed to take prisoners like wood.
yeah, it's kind of, and she seems to be, from what she's saying, you're free to wander around. Like whatever this deal was with this guy seems to be overridden to an extent, very quickly. But she continues, I'll apologize if he made it seem more aggressive. We've had troubles recently, but you've traveled so far to visit here. I'd love to hear what you have to say, what questions, what information you've entered Kirsebal seeking.
Well, we came hoping to find out more about the different plagues that seem to be afflicting the land. The spell plague and or the remnants of it, and this gray blight that seems to be twisting some of the creatures. We had a run in with some creatures that were afflicted with the gray blight, and it seemed not healthy for sure.
Do you have any thoughts on where these plagues originate? Any of you?
I know we were told that the spell plague is the root cause of one of them, but I'm not sure what the cause of the gray blight might be.
Have you any theories? What about the two of you in the back, the young ladies, um, Miss Dwarf and the young human woman? Garrick tells me that you had books that you were reticent to give up. Leads me to think that you are wizards, perhaps? Practitioners? Surely you have theories. I'd love to hear them. Joyce, in solidarity with Moore, I don't think would have given up her book either. Probably would have if Moore did, but kind of like taking her cues, like, all right, no, we're keeping this then. Does a lot of things because Moore does them. Yeah, so this kind of Eric Cochran woman, she's kind of come in, probably moved to a seat and just kind of sat down at one of them at her own invitation, but just kind of watchful and listening. Have you any theories or thoughts on these creations? I'd hear them before I offered my own, so as to not taint your thoughts.
Player to players real fast. We're not trusting them completely, we don't want to mention the cult and all that we believe to be connected to this.
No, probably not.
I think maybe that we would maybe be open with.
Alright, then yeah, more would be like, we're actually chasing a connection back from our own city. There's this cult with the intent of disconnecting our plane from all other planes.
Kind of arches her feathery eyebrows at that.
And we firmly believe that they're causing troubles around here as well.
They are dealing with the fundaments. This is troubling. I hadn't considered that possibility, but it would explain the dark powers they're invoking. My theory is this. I shouldn't begin with the theories. Let me tell you what we know of the spell plague here. The origins of the spell plague weren't far from Chult. Hundreds, thousands of miles to the east, maybe. But they shattered that land and leave a foul, foul echo in the jungles. Scattered about, there's frequently, periodically maybe, I believe there's some repetition, but I haven't been able to fully gauge it yet. Storms that will reek through the jungle, casting blue lightning and sheets of strange astral energies down upon the land.
We saw that last
Many.
night.
Well, a few nights
Wasn't
ago.
last night, but
A few nights ago. Yeah, that's right. A few nights ago.
Bob's right. Yes, yes, off to the west. I watched this storm travel between the twin rivers. Uh, Troubling, and I believe there is a source somewhere, or sources. I've some calculations, but it's very complex work. We have uncovered something. I'll show it to you later. A strange fragment from the Dawn Warrior, and ever since its recovery, the report is that the island is less troubled by these creatures. But this research leads me to believe that this new dangerous undead beasts aren't entirely unrelated. There's been strangers, foreigners coming into the jungle without good intentions, without your peaceful intentions. They came to Kirsabal and raided us, took advantage of our hospitality, but such is the way of peace sometimes. Um, they traveled east, uh, dealing with flesh for reasons that I can only assume are to power dark necromantic rituals. If you could assist us in any way in investigating that, their numbers and powers are more fierce than we could arrange, and I've forbidden Garrick from attempting to rescue them. There's no need for more senseless bloodshed. But that route, tracing them, could be an avenue, or pressing further into the jungle, but it's very dangerous. The jungle weeps for what is happening to her, and the creatures within scramble just to keep their old ancient holdings safe from this undead scourge.
I mean, I'm all in. How dare these people take other people to do whatever? That's rude. Wrong.
Slavery's rude, guys. It ain't
Right?
polite.
What do they look like? How tall were they? How many?
Well, there were several humans, largely unremarkable. Uh, they came under the guise of pilgrims, rested for a few days before they struck.
This is the second time someone is labeling these people unremarkable. What exactly is that what is your definition of unremarkable?
Well, I would define remarkable as you lot. Capable, caring, passionate, and eager. They weren't that. They were simple, or at least had the guise of simple people. Not particularly handsome or strong or capable.
Super sus.
Rather suspicious, yes. We were we were taken advantage of.
Unremarkable. What did they wear? Do you know how many?
Simple robes. There were 8 of them.
8. Well, that does sound familiar. And Alua will look over. Yeah, remember when we were talking before we left from Port Nazar? We were talking to that one person, and they said the same thing. There was a group of people that looked unremarkable, and they're like, "Oh, everybody looks the same." And I was like, "But there are usually some characteristics." And they're like, "No, I don't remember. I didn't pay attention." But they said unremarkable. This seems very similar.
Sometimes the dungeon master is just kind of doesn't have descriptions prepared and might say unremarkable, I feel like.
It's the chair. It's the chair.
Yeah, this is our chair. Yep.
This
Yep.
is our
Yep.
chair. I will die on this chair. On these unremarkable people. Whatever.
Garrick is sharp-minded. He, I think, remembers their faces better than I. Can have him provide you a list and a description of them.
And then also, and she kind of look over and be like, with all due respect, I do apologize. This might be a little sensitive. How many of you did they take?
4 of us. 3 younger juveniles, and one of our... And she kind of breaks off and one older one. Dwelling on the past is not our intentions. I fear that those who have taken have already met a foul and dark faith, but their faith will carry them into the next life, into bliss.
Wow, you are... I would... If someone took my brother, and she looks over, she's like, "That's my brother."
Pleasure to meet you, Alua's brother.
I think I'd probably do something stupid to try and save him.
We all have our callings in life. Some are called to action and to war. Here in Kirsabal, we encourage those who are drawn to peace and wisdom.
Do you... I'm sorry to interrupt. You said they fled to the east. Do you know how far, or merely the direction they were headed?
Garrick tracked them to an abandoned settlement. He could provide more details if you're intent on taking this route.
Alua looks expectantly at her group.
Not to be rude. And then looks to the group. I thought we were here to get information, and a favor requires a favor. If this is their favor, then fine. Otherwise, I mean, no disrespect, but...
I'm sorry, what a favor requires a favor? We ask nothing in return for the aid that we can offer.
Again, players to player, was that not what was said?
It
That they
was
would
what we said.
require a favor for...
That's what the merchant princes told us.
Yeah. Sorry. Oh.
Okay, can I do like an in the response? Can I do like when she says like nothing is expected? Is it her saying nothing's expected and expecting it, or is it actually like
Make an insight check.
an honest like?
More if you kind of seem twitched about it, if you want to make an insight check as well. 3-2.
Me? Did you say me?
Mora seemed like
Oh,
alert
Mora,
to this.
okay.
So if you wanted to make an insight check, I could definitely allow you. Honestly, both of you gather that no, she doesn't. Like, she seems to be just up front with it. Sven, with your pretty good roll, like a lot of what she's saying feels vaguely familiar. It's got a different flavor and a different like actionable to it, but largely it's kind of what Sven learned on an island one time. Kind of this way of peace and sharing.
Right. It's not a formal contract, but it's an expectation.
No. They're very much open. Like this woman seems like she's like you get that she is offering this to you. That there really is an expectation here, and it's kind of like a serene sort of peacefulness that echoes of Eldath.
Okay. Okay.
who is largely a pacifist, though not all her followers are.
Pacifist until it requires me to beat someone's shit out of them.
Yeah.
In what? Okay.
There's nothing you may do with this as you please. You can return, and we do have more to share on this topic, but it requires the long trek to my home, where we're keeping the shard that was recovered.
Sorry, you said that it was the Dawn who? The Dawn Guardian? The Dawn Warrior?
The Dawn Warrior, which is you guys know is an island off to the east. It's an island you were told to avoid.
Oh, right. The
that
one we were
one.
specifically told don't go here.
Yeah.
And to reiterate, they found a shard and now it's been a little more chill.
They said, yeah. He said, seemed to be what they were suggesting.
It was this one?
It's the only island off to the east. Yeah, that one.
Okay, east. Okay. Cool. Shoes. What did I say? Oh, I think Alua said. Did you also say that it's in the same direction as those strange lights?
I'm sorry, I don't follow what you're asking.
The blue lights.
The storms were to the west, I think.
The storm
Okay.
yesterday was to the west. She seemed to suggest that they are afflicting Chult, and she would explain that. Like they've been
Oh, this is opposite.
all over the place.
Okay, so it's the opposite direction.
Yeah, like but like if you inquire about that, she would explain that the storms just kind of affect Chult broadly. She's saying that she thinks there's some sort of pattern to them, but she hasn't figured out what that pattern is. To this point, but not like it's not like the storms are only to the west. Like they happen, they happen off in the ocean sometimes. They happen to the west, they happen to the south, they happen to the north.
Okay.
Et cetera, et cetera.
I think Alua is trying to figure that if people here are taking things and the cult is possibly involved, that there maybe something. So she'll just voice it to the party and like, whoa, what if this group of people are also possibly involved with the cult?
Yeah.
Didn't we sort of suspect that the people who were coming into the jungle were the cult to begin with?
Yes, but I think she's because Mora was a bit like hesitant. It sounded that way. So I think Alua is just like, well, there is this possibility of these people being a part of the cult because it sounds like it was the same people that came from.
No, it's not that she was hesitant. It's that she doesn't feel like it's our problem unless that was going to get us what we needed.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha. So I think that's where Alua is trying to like. This
So yeah,
it might be a ping.
I mean, I'm willing to look, but again, Mora's more intent on getting our job done.
But they're stealing kids.
We ascertained that those who came to visit, they asked questions related to our knowledge of the jungle. I don't divulge the jungle secrets quickly. That is something I've been tasked to guard. But other knowledge we are more open with. No, these individuals, we do worry that they have an involvement in the dark forces rising to the south. I've asked the jungle what it knows, and if I had the power to stop them, I would. But I don't. I'm just a teacher. I'm very old at that.
You look great.
But come, let me go show you what we have found in the island to the east. What are the warriors of the northern tribes recovered and brought here. You might be particularly interested in this Miss Mora, I think it was. Come. And she goes to stand. Beckons for y'all to follow.
Oh,
Yeah.
follow.
Like we follow.
Everybody follow?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Mora?
Hi.
Okay. Mora would leave like at this point during this conversation too. You've seen like a bit of well, no, they would have left the door closed. But as you guys leave, you encounter some of those Erica coming back with your belongings. She's like, "Oh, yes, put them inside. If you need to grab anything, desperately, you can do so. We don't take prisoners here in Gearsabon." There's just like a bit of chat. Like she's not happy with Garrick. But he doesn't like seem apologetic either.
Mora doesn't blame him. Mora just made her choice based on his choice.
Shrugs his shoulders slightly, gives you guys a look. Like, he's very careful. Like if you guys do go and grab your weapons, he's like very judgy about it.
Nah, Katep will go without weapons still.
But if there's anything you guys need to grab, it's made available for you guys if you want to strap them back on at the teacher's request.
Alua, just out of like seeing him, I think she'll probably put her weapons in the bag of holding, just so like, well, they're in one area, but still have them.
Sure. The Charlotte's very like slow. She doesn't fly. There's kind of a bit of a wonder whether she still can all that well. But she doesn't try to either. Like maybe she can, but she definitely ambles along at like 10 feet per 6 seconds, kind of ambling. She's very slow.
Can we still have like a conversation as she's shambling on? Okay. Well, first off, Alua, wait, does the girl, the Shakira, does she follow us?
Kashara, no. Garrick would have some quiet words with her, and she'd kind of like give a nod and like fly off somewhere.
Oh,
give a bye. Nice meeting you all.
Bye. You too. We'll teach dancing later.
You guys, yeah. What do you want to chat about though on the way there?
Oh no, there was something we wanted to. There's something we wanted to ask. Oh, we wanted to ask about the dead thing, the dead area.
We already did.
Yeah, with the other girl.
Oh.
Yeah, but this is like her take, and because the other Shakira didn't want to like, she's like, oh, old people said this thing, and so it's like, well, let's see her side of the story of like, because like, what if this is one of the catalysts or something like that to something? I don't know. At least that's what Alua thinks, because it's like, oh, it's a gray blight. This thing is turning things into like dead stuff, so it's kind of graying. Maybe there's a correlation. I think that's what she'd ask.
What do you ask her?
The Kraken or whatever that place is. I already forgot what it's called. I'm so sorry, guys.
Kirax Grove.
Kirax Grove. Yeah. So, Kirax Grove. What is that? No one has been told not to talk about it.
40 years or so ago, that section of the jungle was unremarkable from any other. There was an old ruin in there built by the Yuan-Ti, who still frequented the area. In that time, an outsider from the land of Baldur's Gate came and temporarily made her home there. She was a dark wizard of some renown. Something happened. She meddled in her ambitions, surpassed her skill, and a cataclysm happened. Not really sure of the details, but since then, the jungle, and what is it, a 5 or so mile, maybe not quite that big, around where the tower once stood has been cursed to be a perpetual state of decay. I've spoken with some travelers who went through there, who spoke of a crystal that they recovered from the pillar there. 2 different groups recovered the exact same crystal. It's a crystal shrouded in dark necromantic magics. I don't know what came of it, but it was alarming that these 2 different groups described the crystal in the same location. Exactly the same, on a pillar, or clutched in like an obelisk of some sort at the heart of the corruption.
Necromantic. And she looks over to her brother and their little mind link of like, those things that attacked us the other night.
I fucking
They-
hate spooky shit.
She looks over. Right. I do have a question. So I remember before we had left, sorry, then just a little side note here. Before we had left Portnia and Zaru, they said that usually around the marshes there are undead. But we did encounter some undead creatures, humanoids, a few nights ago, nowhere near there. If this is necromantic, would this possibly have an effect?
I don't think so, Alua. They had mark on their boots as if they were following us from the water, not from further inland.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Ashara kind of bobs her head. The grove seems inert, largely. I haven't heard of creatures crawling their way out. There's something stuck about that region. I tell the pilgrims here not to venture into it, and I believe they largely respect that wisdom. I certainly couldn't advise you journeying within.
But what if the crystal? Now Lua starts going off of like, what if the crystal or whoever's possibly, what if someone's in there and casting stuff, and the crystal is just a catalyst and it calls the dead things? She kind of goes off a little bit on her and a little bit on that point before circling back to Karak's Grove and like the origins of it.
The jungle largely seems to be at equilibrium with whatever happened to Kirak. This newer darkness involving the fundaments is further to the south. It's hard. The travelers journey that way. The cave that Garrett tracked, or not the cave, the house, the settlement that Garrett tracked those who were last here, is on the shore of Refugee Bay, somewhat to the south, and they believe that they journey further towards the peaks from there. Anyways, here we are. Here's my home. And
6
she,
hours later.
not that long. But it is she does stop before what is the grandest of the buildings carved here in Kirsabal. Several like ornate windows, like stained glass, decorate the front. You can see that it's like multi-storied, and there's like a couple balconies. Kind of looks like both entryways are equally as grandiose, both on this level and the balcony above. It's kind of hard to see the balcony. You're kind of ascending towards it. She moves forward to open the doorway, but as she gets there, the door opens and you see another elderly female Aarakocra. This one is kind of like pale green with green tipped featherings. Opens the way. It's good to see you again, Mistress Ashara. Oh, and you've brought guests. Come inside, then get out of the cold. It's hot outside, right? It is not cold. Welcome. Come in, come in. To which the teacher says, "Thank you, Ring Matona. If you could maybe fetch a cup of tea." Look at that thing posted for y'all. And Ashara leads you all inside. To this room, this grand room. The other Aarakocra don't follow.
Okay.
Inside this room, you kind of see, and this entryway is kind of decorated up as like this small shrine. You see like a staircase in the middle of it. You see this just straight across from the door, next to like a staircase. That staircase that winds up is this large wooden statue of a tabaxi, just kind of in this caught in this pose. There's like various flowers and other small offerings, stones, river stones, seashells, things like that, placed at the feet of this statue. Very, very obviously old. The statue is. Um, Otherwise, there's just like faded frescoes of like floral designs and stuff along the walls here, um, along with like very jarringly these like mathematical symbols like as part of the fresco, like various like equations and proofs and such like that. Um, there's one small section of the floor that's like crumbled inwards. And starts, mind your step around the hole. I keep meaning to get that fixed. But come, we're headed upstairs if you like.
All right, go upstairs. So is the
I-
hole like? Does it lead to like your death?
You go and like peek into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like hundreds of feet drop. You look over, like, whoa. Yeah, like clearly would land down and near where you made the ascent to pierce the ball.
Do we see Bruno?
Not
right.
super.
Yeah, hold on.
Everybody else just following? Anybody want to stop and study anything here?
I think Katap is just following.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no,
Fine.
Mora wants to look at the mathematics, so she'll follow, but slow.
Okay, make an intelligence check real quick. See if you can deduce what these formulae are for.
Sorry, you said int check, yeah?
Joyce might pause. Joyce will give you advantage on that.
Oh, well,
I think.
let me roll again. If it'll let me, hello? There we go.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
24.
Distinctly arcane, like it's mathematical symbols and equations, but you recognize some of these formulas fairly advanced math, like proof of concept of arcane procedures and such. Like these are like famous proofs that would be like foundational to like fourth, fifth level magic and such like that. It's like these notations are typically well kept. Like people hoard this knowledge, so it's a bit jarring to see it like embedded into the history of this building. Yeah, like that seems to be what the math is for, to some extent.
Is it rude if I ask who put these on your wall? Did you lot do this?
This house was built when I was young. Yes.
Alright.
And Joyce kind of mutters like, "What do you think that's about?"
Actually, truly wish I knew.
Wait, sorry, what did she say again?
That they've been here since she was born?
Been here since she was.
She said the house was built when she was young.
That's
Specifically.
it.
Yeah, so she leads up to the upper floor. Has frescoes similar to the ones in the bottom level. The landing itself is just kind of candlelit, opening onto this outer room that shows a library with just one like large bookshelf that holds a few dozen books that all look at a quick glance very old. Otherwise, she kind of and rather in this room, she leads in. She just kind of opens it up, shuffles off to the side to give you guys space to filter in. You see in the center of this room a iron table with a complex sort of like arcane mechanism atop it, like arcane looking, like with like sigils and like brass pieces, other strange like unusual gizmos and such. And suspended above this device, which more you would certainly gather, and maybe some of the other sharp, like quicker ones would quickly surmise that this gadget is somehow suspending a impossible shard that somewhat hurts to look at. This shard it almost looks two-dimensional as you look at it, and kind of just like hurts your eyes to focus on it. It's this purplish blue and white and yellow odd colors that Alua, you would certainly know without like off the cuff, and you also probably would more with your training in Arcana, is reminiscent of the astral plane to an extent. It's like strange geometry, and on this shard, writing seems to be like fading in and out with all sorts of various symbols that you could surmise to be languages. You like see like a letter here, and then like a letter in like common, and then one in dwarvish. Never words consistently, and then like all these other archaic symbols. You have no idea what happens. The shard itself, like no matter where you turn, it looks the exact same. Like
Cool.
almost as if it's rotating towards you, but there's no motion. It's just the same image, like broken shard like thing, but there's also like broken pieces of it off, like to the side, that are also suspended. Like it's not a continuous piece. There's smaller, like broken bits to it.
Oh, sweet. It's like a video game where it's just a plane that's an image and it just follows wherever your eye is.
Yeah, and like clearly incredibly unnatural, right? And like there's this pressure in this room as well that it instantly gives everybody like a mild headache, just like a strange pressure being either somehow caused by the device or the object itself. And Ashar says, "This is what we recovered from the east."
How big you said? How big did you say it was?
It's like the size of like a big book, but it's like irregular. There's like all these like jutting edges and such, including like the smaller pieces that seem broken, but are like oddly, like you can tell like it's all one piece, even with these broken pieces around it.
Oh, okay. I think Alua like immediately is like, "Oh, that looks like it's from the astral plane or something. Can she touch it?"
You go to touch it.
And she's like, "Can I touch it?"
This might not be wise without some consideration. The device that I've placed beneath it protects from its influence. It's rather powerful, but contained here.
Astral. She kind of looks at it. Alua tries to mind link with it for just to try.
Nothing happens.
So nothing will probably ping, but just because Katep is curious, if he uses his divine sense, it doesn't ping. That's what I thought.
But as you guys watch it and kind of are looking at it, for a moment there's this flicker of blue flame that kind of crawls across it.
What was that?
Now that we've seen before.
The spell plague. There's some connection here. Can't work out what it is.
Again, I'm not meaning to be rude, but the lot of you have access to arcane talents, You've attempted the simple spells?
I've some knowledge of the arcane, but it's not my specialty, and certainly I've no more than I think any other here within Garrick knows some magics, but he's more militaristic.
You permit someone like myself to potentially take a look into it?
I would, in fact. Here, come here. Here. And she, like, moves over to a desk at the side of the room. Let me show you this, the two of you. And you as well, Miss Alua. You'd kind of been indicating the wizards here. I've been... The letters across it, I've tried to replicate it. I don't speak too many languages, but I recognize a few of these. Some are ancient Chultan, which is a language that's been gone for thousands of years. I'm curious about what all of this means. There's patterns within it, and other consistencies, but also chaos, raw chaos. What did you intend to attempt?
I was going to start with simple identify, and then after that, see what else I could think to throw at it.
So identify does require you to touch the object.
Aye.
So are you asking for permission to, or
Yeah, it's like she would walk through. I'm wanting to start with something simple. Perhaps
Right.
identify it. I understand touch is.
Well, we could disable the device so that it can be interacted with. The shard. I've attempted the most rudimentary spells. Uh, there's little, it seems, it defies the Weave Mother's explanation.
But if before we do that, because I know you have some very keen people that want to keep you safe, do you mind maybe if we go back just a little bit so she can do her thing? You be safe, we'll protect you just in case it decides to explode.
In all honesty, I'm curious about the timing of your arrival. What I really need are capable minds who can help me study this.
Alua looks down. What are the languages that she wrote or that's written?
You see a collection of many different languages. Any language that you know, it's like you see the runes for, and many that you don't.
Can Alua start maybe her and Joyce can start deciphering as Mora
There's
does her
there's
thing?
nothing that's just individual letters, and there doesn't seem at surface value to be anything of note. Like it's just a replication of letters.
Oh, okay. So
that
if she
see.
spelled it out, nothing would
Right.
really stick
Right.
up.
There's nothing.
Okay.
There's nothing there's no pattern that's going to be that quick.
Okay.
And in fact, you might even say that it might take some time. That a certain person who's
Yeah,
unfortunately
yeah.
gonna
No,
have to leave
I
us.
knew what was gonna happen. I know what you're at, but
Okay.
Also, Katep, what are you doing during all this?
So actually, I was just kind of waiting for it. While they're at the desk, is it just the Ashara in the room, or are there other?
Yeah, the other servant lady just kind of shuffled
So
off.
while they're at the desk, and Katep is just like staring at this thing, probably, he's moving his head around and it's messing with his like depth perception because of how it is. But he might take a moment and just like look down at his hand and force the his symbol to appear and just see if there's any immediate reaction. Oh god, you're getting dice.
What? No. Yeah.
You take 12d10 damage.
Yeah, if you can make a charisma saving throw for me.
Sure.
You are. No, I'm kidding. Don't have to make one. Yeah, you manifest the symbol.
Yeah.
Do that. Make a perception check. You look to see
I'm
if there's
fantastic at these. Let's
any
go.
clear reaction. There's not like an obvious reaction, right? I can tell you that. Yeah, and then you kind of stop and study it for a long moment, and doesn't seem to be doing anything. Are you trying to hide the symbol from Ashara?
Yeah, the thought was, back to them, just briefly make it show up, but I imagine she's super perceptive.
Go ahead and make a sleight of hand check. I'll give you advantage. We'll say that she's distracted. Or I'll give her disadvantage on her perception check. Yeah.
All right.
She's not completely not looking at y'all.
Oh, what they don't know is Katep is killer at cards.
Master. Yeah.
Actually,
Look at that.
That's about as good as it gets for him.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be. You gauge that she probably didn't seem to look up. Yeah, so there doesn't seem to be a reaction.
All right. Like he's curious about what's going on, but he also recognizes this isn't the sort of area where he is particularly helpful with.
Sven and Oren, what are you guys doing during this?
Just kind of backing them up.
Okay. Are you kind of focused more on the shard or more on what's going on at the desk?
I think Sven is like keenly watching what Mora's doing.
Okay.
I think he's kind of invested in that, but he's staying out of it for the most part. He is mostly just a witness to this all at this point.
Okay. Yeah. So, Mora and Alua, the two of you guys, as she's kind of showing you the notes she's had, and like there's complex math and like time, like the times aren't great, and you gather the two of you both, Alua, because of your like very scholarly background, your formal scholarly background, and Alua because of your training and natural intelligence and things like that. Both of you can tell that although this woman is clearly very capable, this is a problem that is beyond her, right? Like she's doing the best she can, but there's not like formal note taking. She's seems to be making certain logical inconsistencies. You can quickly surmise that there's ways to maybe document this that are a bit better, maybe more sets of eyes on this and more minds on this problem could try to have a better chance to figure out if there is something here. And there does seem to be like there's something tantalizingly like there should be something here and hasn't been found. There's this process of her kind of showing you a few of these things takes some time. Like the minutes begin to drag by and by. And Katep, you do see suddenly the symbol of Royal Colossus kind of appear on the shard for a moment.
Oh, that's
like any of the other
concerning.
ones, like any of the other symbols that are appearing and disappearing after a few seconds. It does appear and then fade away.
I'd say more is like talking with Joyce, but also almost immediately gets lost in this. Like Joyce says something that's like, yeah, huh, and one of the, I'm aware you're there, but this is
and fairly quickly it seems like Ashar is like recognizing that maybe her suspicions are correct, that this seems to be minds that are maybe more capable at this. And she kind of steps away and quietly kind of maybe indicates, like maybe touches Alua's shoulder slightly and like tries to move her away to have a conversation without disturbing Mora. They're not hiding it. Not hiding it from Mora either. She can break away to join, listen in and join this conversation at any time. She says, in fact, it seems to be, I'm a deep believer in destiny and fate. Your arrival is a blessing. I don't trust this to the people of the city in the north, nor to the savages who prowl the jungle as if it's theirs. I have the thought that it would be a great benefit if some of your companions helped me with this puzzle, this problem. I desperately wish to make the jungles whole once again. If possible, I don't know how long this could take, but you could travel east, investigate these strangers that are appearing. They're working in some capacity with the pirates of the bay, but they're not of the pirates. This is another group. These strangers who have taken advantage of us and dragged some of our own away off to the east. You could investigate that, see what they're doing, try to uncover what information, speak with Garrick about it. And in the meantime, I can entertain your young dwarven friend here. Perhaps the human woman as well. More minds on the problem, after all.
I mean, that's their choice.
I will tell you guys above table. If Mora and full disclosure, I don't like there being so many NPCs that I'm controlling in the party. It's a bit overwhelming, so I want to dial it back by one. If you guys want Joyce to stay here, the counterpoint will be that combined with Mora's arcane knowledge and hers, whatever this deal is will be solved. Like you guys will get the maximum information. Otherwise, there's a meaningful but like small but meaningful chance that Mora might not uncover every mystery involved with this, depending on like a roll or things like that. But if you do get Joyce around, expect me to pull away a different companion, offer something else, just to keep it a bit more manageable for me.
Well, you don't like controlling the second party?
Yeah, right? Jeez.
It's so
like,
much. Four
I
NPCs
love
right
listening
now.
to Alex have conversations between four people.
Yeah,
So that's just
low key. When I suggested leaving like Joyce and Savra and all them alone, it was to get the NPCs out of there.
Yeah. So this is a way to keep maybe one, like it's either going to be Joyce or Salida. Salida won't ask, but I'll just make it happen. She'll just be like, I got shit to do. But this is like above table. This is totally me just trying to reduce the number of NPCs by one.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Fair.
As the black staff,
And
I think she would
benefit.
benefit. This would be a very enriching opportunity for her.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't have to go back in the fucking jungle for a bit.
Also,
She,
that
she has let us know that she perhaps doesn't like the jungle so much.
I believe the
Yeah.
technical term is "fucking hates it."
yeah.
3 points of exhaustion. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Joyce is definitely interested in researching this. This is like wizard, arcane, like wet dream, right?
Oh.
Aye, definitely.
Dope ass astral shit. But yeah, so like this conversation happens. Are you guys interested in pursuing to the east, or would you guys want to do, a different path?
I know Katep is interested, partially because just sort of as his nature, even if it's not a great chance that there are survivors, he'd want to try to help, get those people who were kidnapped back,
Paladin thing.
basically.
I mean, you guys already know Alua, so I'll just let you guys choose.
I'm about to say, yeah, Alua help kids.
Proper
Yeah,
hero.
that's where she goes.
Yeah. Okay.
Heroes got to do hero things.
That's right. Proper heroes.
All right. Well, then we'll maybe fast forward slightly over, some of the rest of the conversation. It's decided that Mora and Joyce will remain in Kirsabal to study this strange shard of knowledge. Its purpose isn't entirely clear, but it does seem, from what Ashara has said, to be linked in some way to the strange spell plague that is still lingering in Chult. Otherwise, what time is it? Otherwise, the hosts, the pilgrims, as they call themselves, of Kirsabal, make arrangements to get everybody comfortable for the night. You guys are given like dinner, generally like kind of kept like, hey, we'll handle everything in the morning. We'll figure out more information on this point to the east. I think Garrett Garrick would point out the location. He's like, in case it's like, if you guys show him, you guys have a map, I can show you. The teacher has forbidden me to pursue any revenge, as her wisdom dictates. And you can tell, like, he's very much like dubious. Like, he wants to go, but his respect for this teacher's guidance and such keeps him from acting. There's definitely a part of him that wants to like go and like fuck up these people. We'll speak more of it on the morning, but it's here, along the bay, in this region. There's a small settlement. The location isn't in the settlement itself, long since ruined, but just outside, in a cave. And I'll note it on your map just so you guys know where this is. I can't do anything in Foundry right. Why isn't this opening? Alright, well, I can't edit the note for some reason, but I'll ping it right over here.
Alright.
In the morning, I'll take you to the top of the plateau, and you can see the ocean from here barely, and where to avoid. You don't want to be caught in this swamp.
True. Does that mean we have to leave Bruno?
Who?
We had a couple other companions who didn't feel like
We saw the
climbing up the.
is the Triceratops Bruno.
That would be Bruno. Yes.
I don't want to talk
What are you
about
guys
Bruno.
doing?
What?
No,
what
you guys
what?
will be you'll be able to rejoin your companions. Yeah, we'll discuss some of that next session, the details of it. But for now, as everybody's settling down for the night, or maybe in the next morning, is there any temporary farewells anybody wants to make to more? Any conversations? Anything they want to give them, pass around? Anything like that? Obviously, we hope it to be temporary, but
At some point, Katep would definitely let her know that he saw a brief glimpse of the symbol glowing on that fragment, along with other. He probably recognized. Oh, look, a dwarvish letter or rune.
So on.
Hey, I know that.
Orin
All
might
right, I'll keep that
Yeah.
in mind.
might be like hugs all around, quick. We've been through some shit. Even with Joyce. Joyce has been we met her pretty early in our journeys.
If anything, we'll try to keep in contact, or I'll try to keep in contact with you all every few days with magic. If anything happens, Alua, let us know, please.
Alua is a
I'm gonna
little
be
bit
worried.
pouty. A little pouty.
We'll take good notes. You can research it on your own.
Yeah,
They
I'm
need
sorry to
you.
say I don't think that's what she's pouty about.
You don't? That's what I would be pouty about.
No. Aye, but we're a different breed.
Oh,
The adventurous spirit.
I get it. I think I don't get it.
It's just that she's my best friend, and now she's staying, and I'll be the only girl who's cool.
You've got Katep's girlfriends with you.
Not you two.
What is that not? Is
No,
that?
that's
I thought that
true.
was why you were sharing a canoe.
No.
Why would you?
That's
Why would you share a canoe if you weren't?
he's
Why
being
are you-
modest. He's being
Bruno-
very modest.
Bruno is like 3,000 pounds. It takes a lot to row a canoe with a triceratops on it.
It's nothing in the face of love, though, is it?
Exactly.
I think Alua's been a bad influence on you, Joyce. I'm gonna be honest.
Alu has been a wonderful influence. I'm gonna miss you all so much. Don't go and get yourself killed without me.
That's. We're gonna get killed all together.
Promise me, if you die, we have to die together, like a suicide pact kind of thing.
Oh Lord, no, do not, no.
Like a
Kidding,
suicide
is
pact.
It might be a little too much, but it's something similar. Yeah, Lua gives like all the hugs, some tears.
All right.
I feel like Orin and Mora's relationship might be like fist bump worthy. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
It's just two drinking buddies being like, all right, next time we catch up, we're getting wasted.
yeah.
I think at some point Katep would say, and look, if anything happens here or you need us, just give us a call and we'll come.
That's what Joyce is for. All right, so
Here,
actually,
Alua, here. Something to remember us by. And Joyce goes to wear her brooch that kind of gathers her cloak and unclasps it. This is the brooch. It kind of shows the symbol of House Deslinter. You guys recognized in the past that it's magical. She unclips it, holds her cloak steady, and offers the brooch forwards.
What did it do something?
aye, it does.
She takes
It's
it.
a brooch of shielding. In case
I'm gonna need that.
in case you run into any mortals out there, this will demortify them.
Oh, that's sick. She'll go ahead and like.
Send it here.
Yeah, AKA, you're not affected by magic missile.
Gain resistance to force damage, and you're
Uh-huh.
immune to damage from the magic missile spell.
Nice. So if we ever have to hunt Mora down,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it demortifies if you run into a Mora. I dragged it onto your
Awesome.
sheet.
Thank
That is-
you.
oh,
She looks over. She reaches.
You have to
into
give it
her-
back. My dad gave me that.
Of course, we'll take real good care of it. And then she and also to remember myself by, she goes into her bag of holding and she pulls out very slowly this super adorable, cute, pink plushy beholder.
It's so cute.
so I just before we leave, I want you guys. If something happens to us out in the jungle, I want you to use all resources available to save us. Don't you ever think about leaving us behind.
Wouldn't dream of it, handsome, says Alua.
What?
Huh?
Or says Alua. Sorry,
Yeah,
I did the thing. It's the thing I did before, Gorby. Do you miss pizza?
Yeah. I
Says
missed my
Joyce.
pizza.
I was reading. I was looking at a Lewis sheet, so I said a Lewis name.
Yeah. It's okay.
Joyce says that.
Oi,
Call.
I know
This-
one of you doesn't have one of these. I'm not certain why I was holding on to it to begin with, but it's not going to be useful for me up here. Need strength of mind, not strength of body. And going to pull out the hill giant strength potion.
Mm.
One of you take this with you
That's
because
cool,
one of you
cool.
ends up dead. I'm going to be very pissed off.
Agree.
I believe that sets your strength like 24?
21.
21.
21. Okay.
Go to someone who actually can like use that.
I was thinking Sven because he doesn't
Mhm.
attack a whole lot with his weapon, but if he did, it would help.
Yeah, that's true. It won't actually give me a bonus, so
Yeah.
And I have the other one
Barely.
at the moment.
Gotcha.
okay. All right.
All right. Well, with some goodbyes said, we'll say we end with Garrett kind of waiting for you all at the kind of the steps that lead further up into Kirsabal, up to the top of the mesa that the monastery is built on the side of. He wants to show you guys the surrounding landscape and offer the knowledge that he has, but we'll handle that next time on The Plagues of Chult, Episode 6.
Yay.
For now, we're gonna miss you, Mora. I'm really freaking bummed.
Sorry.
Yeah. What's your new work
Stupid
schedule?
jobs.
Monday, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday right now.
And she works throughout the evening.
Yeah, I'm 3 to close.
Oh.
Like all the days
That's
we
rough.
play.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
it is what it is, but eventually I'm
It
hoping
is.
to get Friday mornings. We'll see.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Well, that's good to
We'll see. We hope.
hear. All right.
In the meantime, you guys will continue with the adventure sans wizards.
Yeah, what the fuck? How are we gonna
Our
live?
magical
Yeah, we
firepower.
just
lost a lot of
Yeah,
magical fire.
yeah, we just
Yeah.
went from having overwhelming magical firepower to
Yeah, with
Oh
bad
no! All you
rolls.
have is a crazy sorcerer. The
With
emphasis
bad
on
Sorcerer
rolls.
crazy.
Ranger. Sorcerer Ranger.
Yeah.
Oh no,
She's a
she
good
can heal too.
Yeah, and she's a
That's
better
not our
healer
shortage.
Yeah.
We have a healer.
I know, and it's like it's
That
funny.
didn't,
It's like
that
she's a
didn't
better
stop
healer
Sabra
than...
from almost dying in y'all's arms.
Emphatically, it did.
Yeah, we've kept them.
Emphatically, we did
Temporarily.
stop her from dying.
Yeah.
Barely. All right, well, we'll
man.
log off for the night.
Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Night.
everybody.
Take care, everyone.
Right.
Can I